Chapter 1977. The night passed in the blink of an eye. Early the next morning, Mo Qingyun left the Greenscale Mountain Palace and headed for the location of the Alliance Party. The location of the party was to the north of the Ice Snow Castle, which was where the Xuanwu Gate was located. It was a huge, low-lying ice valley. There were many huge ice sculptures around the valley. Under Mo Qingyun's observation, he discovered that these ice sculptures were set up with mysterious runes. At this moment, there were many Saint Realm cultivators sitting on top of the sculptures. Is everyone here? While Mo Qingyun was observing the ice sculptures, Quan Cheng exchanged glances with the others and then looked at Mo Qingyun and the others. Quan Cheng and the others glanced at Mo Qingyun and the others. They exchanged glances again and said, "Everyone is here. We can start the Guardian Ice Beast array." As Quan Cheng finished speaking, he made a hand gesture and condensed it into a snow wolf shadow. "Oh, whoa!" The snow wolf shadow howled and then drilled into the snow wolf ice sculpture and merged with it. As the snow wolf shadow merged with the ice sculpture, the runes on the snow wolf ice sculpture immediately bloomed with a dazzling silver light. As the snow wolf ice sculpture bloomed with silver light, the other ice sculptures around it also bloomed with silver light. Immediately after, the silver light emitted from the ice sculpture enveloped the entire ice valley, forming a stable battle arena. Seeing that the fighting arena was formed, Quan Cheng and the others flew down from the ice sculptures and went to the seats at the edge of the ice valley. Since the Ice Beast array has been activated, this year's party of the Alliance Party has officially begun. Quan Cheng glanced at Mo Qingyun and the others and then sat down on the chair behind him. Then, Quan Cheng and the other Saint Realm cultivators sat on the chairs and chatted. After hearing Quan Cheng instructions, the juniors in the center of the Ice Valley began to find opponents to spar with. "Li Liang, let me see your progress in the past year. Wang Wei, I lost to you by half a move in the last Alliance meeting. This time, I will definitely win it back. Zhou Yaoyu, stop dilly-dallying. Come and fight me." As the Alliance meeting began, some of the people who had agreed to fight each other found an open space and began to spar. While everyone was competing, Mo Qingyun's gaze was still fixed on the ice sculpture. Are these ice sculptures really just for stabilizing the formation? Looking at the surrounding ice sculptures, Mo Qingyun muttered in his heart. He felt that they were not as simple as they seemed. This was because Mo Qingyun sensed that there was a spatial energy hidden within these ice sculptures. Mo Qingyun could clearly sense this kind of power whenever he used the teleportation gate. Strange, these ice sculptures don't give me the feeling of a stabilizing formation, but more like a teleportation formation. The more Mo Qingyun thought about it, the more puzzled he became. He was even more curious about the Ice Valley. He walked towards Quan Cheng. He wanted to get some information about the Ice Valley from Quan Cheng. He wanted to know how the Ice Valley came to be. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, this Ice Valley should not have been built by the Anti-Mortal Alliance. It could even be said that the entire ice castle here was not built by the Anti-Mortal Alliance. However, before Mo Qingyun could get close to Quan Cheng, his path was blocked by a group of people. "Mo, are you in such a hurry to go there? Are you trying to avoid a fight?" "Humph, we have already noticed you. It won't be that easy to hide. You can't escape. Come and fight with us." These people blocked Mo Qingyun's path and forced Mo Qingyun to fight with them. Seeing these people in front of him, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He knew that a fight was inevitable. Forget it. A fight is inevitable anyway. I'll send these people away first and slowly discuss with Quan Cheng. Mo Qingyun thought about it and immediately made a decision. He decided not to look for Quan Cheng for the time being. After the Alliance Party was over, he still had to tell Quan Cheng about the Xuanwu Mystic Realm. At that time, it would not be too late to ask Quan Cheng about the Ice Valley. Mo Qingyun made a decision in his heart. He walked to the center of the Ice Valley with the others. When they arrived at the center of the Ice Valley, Mo Qingyun glanced at the people around him and said loudly, "Don't say that I didn't give you a chance to challenge me. Everyone who wants to challenge me, gather at the center of the Ice Valley." When Mo Qingyun said this, he infused some immortal spiritual energy into his voice to make it louder and spread further. Mo Qingyun's words immediately attracted everyone's attention. They all turned to look at him. Even those who were in the midst of fighting stopped fighting and turned their attention to Mo Qingyun. Seeing everyone looking at him, Mo Qingyun raised his head and said loudly to the crowd, "Is there anyone else who wants to challenge me? If there is, then step forward. I'll take all of you in one go so that I don't have to fight a second time." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Ice Valley was in an uproar. Everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's words. This kid is really arrogant. He actually challenged several people at once. Is he tired of living? This kid is not weak. I heard that when Feng Chan fought with him, he defeated him in one move. Although he has some strength, challenging so many people at once is a bit too arrogant. He is indeed a bit arrogant. Feng Chen's strength is not the best among the younger generation of the Alliance. There are many who are stronger than him. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, some people were dissatisfied and showed their disdain for Mo Qingyun. This guy is really unfathomable. No one can guess what he is thinking. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Tang Xiao could not help but sigh. He was even more impressed with Mo Qingyun. Yang Mu frowned when he heard Tang Xiao's words. The expression in his eyes changed when he looked at Mo Qingyun. He said, "Given this brat's character, he will definitely not do anything risky. Based on the current situation, he should have a powerful backer." While Tang Xiao and Yang Mu were talking, some of the Saint Realm experts looked curiously at Quan Changyi. "Elder Quan, is this young man the person you're talking about? He seems to be too arrogant. His character is even worse than Fong Qinglin. I'm afraid it will be difficult for him to achieve anything." No wonder Elder Quan asked him to stay in the palace on Greenscale Mountain. He is the same as Fong Qinglin. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrogance, the surrounding Saint Realm experts did not think highly of Mo Qingyun. Hearing the crowd's words, Quan Changyi frowned and did not know how to respond. In his impression, Mo Qingyun was not like this. He should be mature and calm. The difference between Mo Qingyun's current performance and his impression of Mo Qingyun was simply too great. Chapter 1978. Could it be that this kid has other intentions? Quan Changyi still didn't believe that Mo Qingyun was an arrogant and rash person. He felt that Mo Qingyun should have other plans. Under the astonished gazes of the crowd, angry youths walked up to Mo Qingyun one by one. Looking at the surrounding young men, Mo Qingyun didn't show the slightest fear. With a calm expression, he said, "Is there anyone else who wants to challenge me? If not, I'm going to make my move." Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, the surroundings were silent. No one responded to Mo Qingyun. It seemed that those who doubted Mo Qingyun's strength had all stepped forward. Although no one stepped forward, the number of people who wanted to challenge Mo Qingyun was still a terrifying number. There were a total of 17 people. Every one of them was at the 5th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. Among them, there were a few who were exceptionally strong and had reached the 7th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. Their strength was enough to stand shoulder to shoulder with some elders. Mo Qingyun's situation doesn't seem too good. Looking at the lineup of challengers, Quan Changyi's expression was tense. He couldn't help but sweat for Mo Qingyun. In the face of such a lineup, even some quasi-sane experts would feel constrained. Mo Qingyun, you're so proud and arrogant. Let's see how you're going to deal with this. Looking at Mo Qingyun, who was surrounded, Peng Ri smiled proudly and couldn't help but gloat. He was still thinking about how to find an opportunity to take revenge on Mo Qingyun. He didn't expect Mo Qingyun to court his own death. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's current actions were clearly digging his own grave. This kid is finished. Facing such a lineup, even a quasi-saint expert can't deal with it. That's right. Even if Fong Qinglin is resurrected, he wouldn't dare to be so careless. Not to mention Fong Qinglin, even if the current Ruan she makes a move, I'm afraid she only has a 50% chance of winning. The surrounding people were not optimistic about Mo Qingyun's chances. Mo Qingyun did not care about the feelings of the people around him. He looked at them indifferently and said, "I'm new here. In order to show my respect, I'll let you attack first so that you won't have a chance to counterattack. Give way my ass. Do we need you to let us in? With so many of us working together, do you think we won't have a chance to fight back?" As soon as Mo Qingyun spoke, the faces of the people surrounding Mo Qingyun turned even uglier. This brat in front of them was too arrogant. He clearly didn't put them in his eyes. "I can't take it anymore. This brat is asking for a beating. I've seen a lot of people who seek death, but I've never seen someone who seeks death like this. I'm sure that even if Elder Quan were to act now, he wouldn't be able to save this kid." Looking at Mo Qingyun's attitude, the crowd began to discuss again. While the crowd was discussing Mo Qingyun swept his gaze over the crowd and said with a faint smile, "What? None of you are willing to attack first? Then I won't hold back." Demonic star-splitting palm. Mo Qingyun did not dare to hold back. As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his palm at the crowd. The power of creation, which exuded terrifying demonic power, quickly gathered in Mo Qingyun's palm and spread to Mo Qingyun's entire body in the blink of an eye. Not long after, a demon god shadow, which was several feet tall, formed outside Mo Qingyun's body. After the demon god shadow was formed, it blasted toward the crowd with an unstoppable force. The god tribe and the immortal tribe coexisted in the dark wasteland. Mo Qingyun was not afraid that his identity would be exposed. This was because he had discovered that there were also some god tribe members in the Anti-Mortal Alliance. Therefore, it was not surprising that he used the god tribe's remarkable ability. Bang, bang, bang. Under the demon god shadow's palm, the air immediately rumbled as if space was being shattered. As the giant palm continued to approach, the light above the crowd immediately dimmed. The giant black palm was getting closer and closer, and it was getting lower and lower, as if it was going to cover heaven and earth. So powerful. Looking at the giant black palm pressing down on their heads, the crowd besieging Mo Qingyun panicked, and their hearts trembled. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's palm, the crowd did not dare to underestimate their opponent, and they all blocked it. Immortal technique, Snow Cloud Finger. Remarkable ability, Blood Tyrant in the Firmament. Phoenix Slayer Third Cut. In an instant, all kinds of immortal techniques and remarkable abilities were displayed by the crowd. As the crowd attacked, all kinds of dazzling saber radiance, sword radiance, collided with the giant black palm. Boom, boom, boom. The giant black palm blasted all kinds of attacks and immediately exploded with the force of a thunderbolt. After defeating the crowd's attacks, the attack of the giant black palm did not diminish and fell like Mount Tai. Boom, boom. A loud sound was heard and the ground shook violently. In the center of the ice valley, ice cubes and snowflakes danced, setting off a wave of cold wind that swept wildly towards the surroundings. The formation patterns on the surrounding ice sculptures suddenly shone and released a dazzling light. Soon, a shocking power of a formation was emitted from the ice sculpture. Under the suppression of the formation power, the storm caused by the ice cubes and snowflakes slowly calmed down. After a while, when the crowd saw the scene in the ice valley, they were all stunned. In the center of the ice valley, there was a giant palm shadow, and there were several people lying in it. These people were the ones who had challenged Mo Qingyun just now, and they were all lying on the ground half dead. One move, with just one move, sure song, and the others are all lying on the ground. It's too terrifying. This kid's true strength is already comparable to a Saint expert. What kind of freak is this kid? It seems that Fang Qinglin is not that strong. This guy is ruthless. It seems that the ranking of the 10 heroes of the Alliance will change again. The crowd was in a daze and sighed. This Mo Qingyun's strength is really. Looking at Mo Qingyun's strength, Quan Chung Yi was speechless and had mixed feelings. He had always felt that Mo Qingyun's strength was not bad, but his strength had far exceeded his expectations. Is this guy human? Looking at Mo Qingyun's performance, Tang Zhao's eyes widened, and he turned to look at Yang Mu. Under Tang Zhao's gaze, Yangmu was also dumbfounded and could not speak for a long time. The shock that Mo Qingyun gave him was really a little too great. No, impossible. How can a person in the Tai Xian immortal realm be so powerful? Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Peng Ri's eyes widened and he could not accept the situation. While everyone was in shock, Mo Qingyun looked at the crowd in front of him and shook his head in disappointment. He said, "Everyone jumped out to challenge me. I thought you were strong, and you made me use my full strength. If I had known, I would have used half of my strength." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He shook his head and walked out of the ice valley. Chapter 1979. Silence. The entire ice valley suddenly became quiet. Everyone was stumped by Mo Qingyun's words and didn't know how to respond. Was Mo Qingyun arrogant? The answer was he was too arrogant. Would it kill him to keep a low profile? However, although everyone knew this, they could not refute it, because those who fought with Mo Qingyun were indeed killed by Mo Qingyun in one move. Looking at the power of Mo Qingyun's move, even if he only used half of his strength, those people could not withstand it. Elder Quan, I'm sorry, I was a little too harsh. Walking in front of Quan Cheng-yi, Mo Qingyun gave a simple apology as an explanation to Quan Cheng-yi. No matter what, he was brought into the Anti-Mortal Alliance by Quan Cheng-yi, so he should take his face into consideration. Hearing Mo Qingyun's apology, Quan Cheng-yi's expression improved a little. He shook his head at Mo Qingyun and said, "It's okay. It's inevitable that there will be mistakes in a spar." Hearing Quan Cheng-yi's words, everyone smiled bitterly, not daring to agree with him. Did Mo Qingyun make a mistake? In the case of a mistake, at most, he would only injure one person. But Mo Qingyun was different. He had injured a bunch of people the moment he attacked. Was this really just an accident? Under everyone's gloomy gaze, Mo Qingyun shrugged indifferently and said with an aggrieved expression, "Elder Quan, in fact, you saw it too. It's not all my fault. I refused their challenge at the beginning." "Refuse your sister, who was the one who said it just now. Those who want to challenge, step forward." "Elder, this kid must be severely punished. This kid is too arrogant." Yes, this is a classic case of taking advantage of others. This is absolutely intolerable. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, everyone immediately expressed their dissatisfaction and motioned for Quan Cheng-yi to punish Mo Qingyun. Seeing everyone's attitude, Quan Cheng-yi suddenly showed a helpless expression, not knowing how to deal with Mo Qingyun. In this matter, Mo Qingyun was not in the wrong. He was indeed the one being challenged. If he wanted to blame someone, he could only blame the person who challenged Mo Qingyun for overestimating himself. Seeing Quan Cheng-yi's awkward expression, Mo Qingyun showed an understanding expression. He sighed and said, "Elder Quan, the time I took to fight was too short. I just entered the warm-up state, and those people all fell. If there is anyone who wants to challenge me, I don't mind making an exception and fighting him alone." Mo Qingyun once again walked to the center of the ice valley. Standing in the middle of the huge ice wall, he stretched his body. At this time, Shi Song and the others who had been seriously injured by Mo Qingyun had already been carried away for treatment. Looking at the huge ice crater and recalling Mo Qingyun's words, everyone couldn't help but tremble. They didn't dare to fight one-on-one with Mo Qingyun. Looking at Mo Qingyun's current posture, he was really going to be ruthless. If they fought with Mo Qingyun now, it would definitely not be as simple as being killed in one move. They were bound to be brutally beaten by Mo Qingyun. This guy, it's better not to provoke him in the future. Don't provoke him? In my opinion, it's better not to provoke him. Looking at Mo Qingyun's actions, Tang Xiao and Yang Mu exchanged a look and shook their heads with a wry smile. They could see that the kid standing in the ice crater was a very difficult person to provoke. Mo Qingyun stood in the ice crater for a long time, and no one around him spoke. Everyone avoided Mo Qingyun's gaze. Looking at everyone's performance, Mo Qingyun didn't want to stay any longer. He once again walked to Quan Cheng-yi and said, "Elder Quan, this junior has something to discuss with you in private. Please come with me." "Oh, Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Quan Chengyi's expression changed, and curiosity appeared on his face. Quan Chengyi briefly explained to the few Saint Realm experts around him, and then left the Ice Valley with Mo Qingyun. Mr. Mo, what do you have to report to me? Leaving the Ice Valley with Mo Qingyun, Quan Chengyi showed a curious expression and took the initiative to ask Mo Qingyun. Under Quan Chengyi's inquiry, Mo Qingyun didn't immediately answer. With a serious expression, he said, "This is a serious matter. It's not convenient for me to talk here. Let's go to a secluded place." The more Mo Qingyun acted like this, the more curious Quan Chengyi became, and his expression became serious. He could see that what Mo Qingyun wanted to tell him was probably very important. Immediately, Quan Chengyi didn't ask any more questions and took Mo Qingyun to his residence. "Mr. Mo, you can speak now." Leading Mo Qingyun into his secret room, Quan Chengyi couldn't help but be curious and asked Mo Qingyun again. Under Quan Chengyi's gaze, Mo Qingyun took out a scroll and slowly spread it out and said, "Elder Quan, this is a map of the secret realm that I have obtained. The location of the secret book is between the Immortal Slaying Hall, the Madman League, and the Dark Demons. If we can enter it, it should be of great help to the development of the Anti-Mortal Alliance." The Xuanwu Secret Realm. Looking at the map that Mo Qingyun opened, Quan Chengyi's eyes widened, and he carefully studied the map. The more Quan Chengyi looked, the more serious his expression became, and the joy in his eyes became more and more intense. Obviously, Quan Chengyi had found out that although entering the Xuanwu Secret Realm was dangerous, the rewards were also great. "Mr. Mo, you found the secret book alone. Are you sure you want to tell it to the Alliance?" Quan Chengyi looked at the map, carefully put it away, and asked Mo Qingyun with a serious face. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's map was too valuable. He wanted to be sure that Mo Qingyun's current action was not done on impulse. "Yes." Mo Qingyun nodded seriously, glanced at the map, and sighed, pretending to be regretful. "I also know that the Xuanwu Secret Realm is very valuable, but with my strength, I don't even have the chance to enter. Instead of waiting for the three major forces to find it, it's better to tell the Anti-Mortal Alliance. No matter what, I am now a part of the Anti-Mortal Alliance." Good. I really didn't misjudge you." After listening to Mo Qingyun's words, Quan Chengyi immediately praised Mo Qingyun and appreciated him even more. That was true, but in a situation like this, not many people could do what Mo Qingyun did. "In that case, I will report this to the Alliance leader immediately." After hearing Mo Qingyun's affirmation, Quan Chengyi did not waste any more time and prepared to report this immediately. Quan Chengyi made his decision, looked at Mo Qingyun again, and said, "Mr. Mo, you have made such a great contribution to the Alliance. Tell me what you want, and I will do my best to satisfy you." Seeing Quan Chengyi's reaction, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "I don't have any requests, as long as you bring me along when you go to the Xuanwu Secret Realm. That's not a problem. You were the one who discovered the Xuanwu Secret Realm, so of course we can't leave you behind." After hearing Mo Qingyun's request, Quan Chengyi agreed without hesitation and said, "There's no time to lose. Let's go now and report this to the Alliance leader, in case something unexpected happens." Chapter 1980. Ice Snow Castle, Central Hall. After Quan Chengyi parted ways with Mo Qingyun, he hurriedly brought the map to the hall. When Quan Chengyi walked into the hall, there were 7 or 8 elders sitting in the hall. Each of them had a powerful aura. These people were the Alliance leader and deputy Alliance leader of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. They had the highest status in the Anti-Mortal Alliance. "Greetings, Alliance leaders." Glancing at the crowd, Quan Chengyi showed a respectful expression and immediately bowed to everyone. When they saw Quan Chengyi's bow, they waved their hands, indicating that Quan Chengyi need not be so polite. "Elder Quan, you look like you're in a hurry. What's the matter?" An elder sitting at the top of the hall smiled kindly and asked Quan Chengyi's purpose for coming. This person was the alliance leader of the Anti-Immortal Alliance, the strongest person in the Anti-Immortal Alliance, Ding Zhao. Alliance leader, I have something important to report. Quan Cheng-yi took out the map of the Xuanwu secret realm and walked toward Ding Zhao. He reported, Alliance leader, this is the map of a secret realm. I recommended Mr. Mo, and he passed it to me. Secret realm? Hearing Quan Cheng-yi's words, everyone was shocked, and their expressions turned serious. A secret realm could be big or small. If one was lucky, the treasures hidden in it would be immeasurable. If the map that Mo Qingyun handed over really involved a secret realm, it would definitely be a huge fortune. Xuanwu's secret realm? After looking at the map that Quan Cheng-yi handed over, Ding Zhao frowned and thought about the existence of this secret realm. After thinking for a while, Ding Zhao's eyes lit up. He thought of the origin of the Xuanwu secret realm. Ding Zhao guessed the origin of the Xuanwu secret realm. Some of the deputy alliance leaders around also guessed the origin of the Xuanwu secret realm. Their previous forces were all established near the sky-devouring ice river. They were very familiar with this place. They were all familiar with the rumors about the Xuanwu mystic realm. It was just that the Xuanwu mystic realm was too old, and they had no clue. Now that they had the map, it was undoubtedly a huge surprise for them. Alliance leader, the Xuanwu mystic realm is too important. I think we should seal the news. A black-clothed old man with a hooked nose winked at Ding Zhao, conveying a sinister message. Seeing the old man's actions, Ding Zhao immediately understood what the old man meant. He said, Alliance leader Dan Teng is thinking that the Xuanwu mystic realm has too many implications. The fewer people who know about it, the better. After Ding Zhao explained his thoughts, he turned to look at Quan Cheng-yi and asked, Quan Cheng-yi, after Mo Qingyun told you about the Xuanwu secret realm, did you tell anyone else? We didn't tell anyone. Quan Cheng-yi shook her head and reported truthfully. She then said, after I got this map from Mr. Mo, I came here directly. Good, very good. After hearing Quan Cheng-yi's answer, Ding Zhao and the others sneered, as if the worry in their hearts had disappeared. While Ding Zhao and the others sneered, Quan Cheng-yi remembered Mo Qingyun's request and said, Alliance leader, when Mr. Mo gave me the map, I promised him that I would bring him to the Xuanwu mystic realm. You want Mo Qingyun to enter the Xuanwu mystic realm? After hearing Quan Cheng-yi's words, Ding Zhao and the others sneered. They thought that Quan Cheng-yi's words were ridiculous. How could they bring an outsider to such an important mystic realm? Even if the map of the Xuanwu mystic realm was provided to them by Mo Qingyun, it was still impossible. Ding Zhao pondered for a while. Then his expression became serious. He said to Quan Cheng-yi earnestly, Elder Quan, this Xuanwu mystic realm is not an ordinary mystic realm. We have to be careful when dealing with it. It's really inconvenient to bring Mo Qingyun with us. Why don't we wait until we open the mystic realm and give Mo Qingyun some benefits? Alliance leader, this, after hearing Ding Zhao's words, Quan Cheng-yi's expression changed immediately. She looked like she was in a difficult position. Before he came here, he had made a solemn vow in front of Mo Qingyun. He really did not expect Ding Zhao and the others to have such a reaction after seeing the map of the Xuanwu mystic realm. They were obviously burning bridges after crossing the river. Elder Quan, the alliance leader's words are very clear. Don't you understand? Looking at the troubled Quan Cheng-yi, Dan Ting asked in a displeased tone. He then said, if Mo Qingyun is a sensible person, he should know what to do. We, the Anti-Immortal Alliance, took him in, so he should be grateful. After hearing Dan Teng's words, Quan Cheng-yi was unhappy. Was it really the Anti-Immortal Alliance that took in Mo Qingyun? Not necessarily. With the strength that Mo Qingyun had shown, as long as he did not encounter an expert like ZK, he could definitely protect himself. At that time, if it were not for Quan Cheng-yi's repeated solicitation, Mo Qingyun might not have returned to the Anti-Immortal Alliance. Alliance leader, we can't do this. This is clearly burning bridges after crossing the river. Quan Cheng-yi struggled in her heart, but she still could not accept Ding Zhao and the others' point of view. Disdain appeared on her face. Presumptuous. Is this how you treat the alliance leader? Seeing Quan Chengyi's attitude, Dan Teng's face immediately turned cold. He shouted, Elder Quan, it seems that you need to reflect. You don't have to worry about this matter. Feel at ease and reflect on your mistakes. As soon as Dan Teng finished speaking, he raised his hand and pressed down on Quan Chengyi. Facing Dan Teng's palm, Quan Chengyi's knees immediately went soft and she half knelt on the ground. In front of Dan Teng, even with the cultivation of Quan City's Artsage realm, he had no power to resist at all. From this, it could be seen that Dan Teng's cultivation level, although not comparable to ZK's, was much more powerful than an ordinary Saint Realm expert. Someone, take Elder Quan to reflect on his mistakes. Dan Teng raised his hand and subdued Quan Chengyi. He then ordered his men to take Quan Chengyi away. After ordering someone to take Quan Chengyi away, Dan Teng looked at another person and said, Zhang Shanwu, go to Mo Qingyun's residence now and deal with that kid. Yes. Hearing Dan Teng's order, the person immediately responded and went to Mo Qingyun's residence. Seeing Dan Teng's action, Ding Zhao showed a look of admiration and said, Alliance Leader Dan, you've thought it through thoroughly. This way, it's basically foolproof. Hearing Ding Zhao's words, Dan Teng and the others sneered, as if some evil plan had succeeded. Inside the palace of Greenscale Mountain, Mo Qingyun and Quan Chengyi left, and he directly returned here. Thump, thump, thump. However, as soon as Mo Qingyun returned, his eyes began to twitch violently, and there was a strong sense of uneasiness in his heart. How could this be? It seems that a crisis is approaching. This feeling of uneasiness appeared, and Mo Qingyun frowned. He immediately had a plan. This feeling is not good. I'd better use the spiritual turtle transformation to predict the future. Chapter 1981. The Appearance of the Spirit Turtle. After Mo Qingyun used the Spirit Turtle transformation and transformed into Xuanwu, he began to predict the future. Although Mo Qingyun could not guarantee that he would be able to foresee the danger, it was not a bad thing to try. Soon, a slightly blurry image appeared in front of him. In the image, a Saint Realm expert suddenly came to Mo Qingyun's residence and told Mo Qingyun about the Xuanwu secret realm. Mo Qingyun did not care about this, thinking that it was Quan Chengyi who sent this person, who knew that this person would suddenly launch a sneak attack on Mo Qingyun while they were talking. Mo Qingyun was caught off guard and severely injured Mo Qingyun, and then pursued Mo Qingyun. Then Mo Qingyun fell into a very passive situation where he had to run for his life. At this time, the image in front of him suddenly collapsed, as if Mo Qingyun could not hold on. How could this be? Thinking back to the situation just now, Mo Qingyun's heart thumped, and a strong sense of confusion arose in him. After a short period of confusion, Mo Qingyun began to guess the possibility of this situation. Could it be that Quan Chengyi betrayed me? Did he want to kill me to silence me? Mo Qingyun's mind worked quickly, guessing the possibility of this situation and wondering if Quan Chengyi wanted to harm him. Soon, Mo Qingyun shook his head and rejected this possibility. It shouldn't be Quan Chengyi. He didn't have to do this. After eliminating the possibility of Quan Chengyi harming him, Mo Qingyun's expression became cold, and he roughly guessed the possibility. If it's not Quan Chengyi, then it should be the people of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. If I'm not wrong, Quan Chengyi might have been killed by them because of his opposition. If that's the case, I'm in a bad situation. I have to take action. Thinking of this possibility, Mo Qingyun did not waste any time. Mo Qingyun began to deploy. That Saint Realm expert must have come here on orders. As long as he does not report back, the Anti-Mortal Alliance should not do anything else. With this thought, Mo Qingyun immediately had a plan and knew how to fight back. Since you want to harm me, I have no choice but to show you no mercy. Mo Qingyun said to himself. Without hesitation, he immediately took out some refining materials. Mo Qingyun took out these refining materials and placed them in every corner of the palace on Qinling Mountain. After arranging the materials, Mo Qingyun did not dare to waste any time. He immediately started carving runes in the surroundings. If Quan Cheng Yi is really in danger, the enemy should be here soon. While Mo Qingyun was setting up the array, he was calculating in his heart how to do things perfectly. Because even if I set up the array now, I can't set it up too perfectly. I can only set up a trap to temporarily trap that person. While Mo Qingyun was thinking in his heart, mysterious array patterns flew out from his hands. These array patterns flew out and landed at the foot of the array, blooming with dazzling light. Half an hour later, Mo Qingyun stopped what he was doing, and a satisfied smile appeared on his face. He clapped his hands and said, "Although the Frostwater Mirror Bewildering Array is not complete, it should be more than enough to trap a Saint Realm expert for a while. As long as I can trap him for a while, I will be able to subdue him. That's enough." After setting up the array, Mo Qingyun was thinking in his heart about how to deal with what would happen next. Mo Qingyun said in his heart. He sat leisurely in the palace, waiting for the Saint Realm expert to come. What I need to do now is to wait. I hope I won't have to wait too long. Time passed little by little. After a while, a familiar face entered Mo Qingyun's sight. In the image just now, it was this person who sneakily attacked Mo Qingyun, catching Mo Qingyun off guard and severely injuring him. Seeing this person, the last trace of doubt in Mo Qingyun's heart completely disappeared at this moment. It seemed that the image Gui Ling showed, how just now was basically wrong. That was close. Fortunately, I used the turtle spirit manifestation. Mo Qingyun guessed what would happen next. He could not help but sigh, and a sense of relief rose in his heart. If he did not know how to use the turtle spirit manifestation, he would be in a different situation. Under Mo Qingyun's gaze, the person walked closer and closer, unconsciously entering the array. "You're Mr. Mo, right?" This person was very patient. He walked into the palace of the Greenscale Mountain and was not in a hurry to make a move. He wanted to familiarize himself with Mo Qingyun first and reduce Mo Qingyun's vigilance against him, so that he could launch a sneak attack without fail. "Senior, are you looking for me?" Faced with this person's question, Mo Qingyun pretended to be confused and instinctively asked him a question. Under Mo Qingyun's question, Jiang Shangwu's expression was normal. He smiled faintly at Mo Qingyun and said, "Mr. Mo, I am here on Elder Quan's order to bring you to see him." "I see." Mo Qingyun naturally did not believe him. He pretended to understand and nodded. He reached out his hand to Jiang Shangwu and said, "If that's the case, please lead the way, senior." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Jiang Shangwu smiled coldly and deliberately turned around. In the image just now, he turned around first and suddenly turned around to attack Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was caught off guard and was hit by his palm, resulting in serious injuries. However, Mo Qingyun already knew the consequences, so he would not repeat the same mistake. Imperial Seal Spirit Eyes. Seeing Jiang Shangwu turn around, Mo Qingyun activated the Heavenly Soul Demon race and used his innate ability on Jiang Shangwu. When Mo Qingyun used his innate ability, he also summoned Yu Hai and the others and ordered them to launch a sneak attack on Jiang Shangwu. After being hit by Mo Qingyun's soul attack, Jiang Shangwu was caught off guard and his consciousness was in chaos. While Jiang Shangwu's consciousness was in chaos, the attacks of Yu Hai and the others all landed on him. Bang, bang, bang. Deafening sounds suddenly came from Jiang Shangwu's body, producing waves of terrifying energy waves. After being hit by Yu Hai and the others, Jiang Shangwu was sent flying and his cultivation was instantly crippled. Bang! Jiang Shangwu was sent flying for a distance before he crashed heavily into the ground. He had turned into a pile of mud. However, as Jiang Shangwu was powerful, he did not die immediately. Why did you do that? Seeing this sudden change, Jiang Shangwu's eyes widened and he questioned Mo Qingyun in shock. He did not dare to believe that this unknown brat in front of him would actually make a move against him first. Faced with Jiang Shangwu's question, Mo Qingyun shrugged and said with a smile, If I don't attack you, should I wait for you to attack me? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Jiang Shangwu was even more shocked and immediately understood something. Chapter 1982. You actually know that I'm here to deal with you? Jiang Shangwu's heart was filled with shock when he saw that Mo Qingyun had pointed out his true purpose. In his opinion, he had just received Dan Teng's order, and Mo Qingyun should not have known. But in reality, Mo Qingyun had foreseen the situation. This was too strange. Mo Qingyun did not pay attention to Jiang Shangwu's shock. He waved his hand at Yu Hai and the others, saying, "Don't kill him for now. Lock him up in the Fortune Immortal Palace." Jiang Shangwu was sent by Dan Teng. If Mo Qingyun killed him, Dan Teng would definitely be agitated. If more people were attracted, the situation would not be optimistic, and Mo Qingyun's counterattack would be much more difficult. After instructing Yu Hai and the others, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and sent Yu Hai and the others to the Fortune Immortal Palace. "Since you want to deal with me, I naturally have to fight back." Seeing the Anti-Immortal Alliance's actions, Mo Qingyun's face gradually turned cold. He was unwilling to swallow this insult. Being indifferent after being beaten up was not Mo Qingyun's character. "You have offended me, yet you still want to hide here and bide your time. I can only apologize." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He no longer hesitated and began his counterattack. Soon after, Mo Qingyun took out all the materials needed to set up the formation. After taking out these materials, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and immediately arranged a formation around the ice peaks. The formation Mo Qingyun arranged was not a high-grade formation because it took too much time to arrange a high-grade formation. Based on the current situation, there was not much time left for him. At most, he only had 1 day's time. As long as Mo Qingyun did not leave the ice-snow castle, no matter where he hid, 1 day was enough for Jiang Shangwu to find him. Although the level of the array that Mo Qingyun had set up was not high, it was more than enough to destroy the entire ice castle. Mo Qingyun's current goal was not to kill as many people as he wanted to destroy the base of the Anti-Immortal Alliance. Once their lair was destroyed, there would naturally be someone to clean them up. Mo Qingyun didn't have to worry about that. With the support of the hidden door, Mo Qingyun carefully completed the array formations one by one. "I have to be fast, but I'm still not fast enough." Mo Qingyun knew very well that even if he didn't kill Jiang Shangwu, he wouldn't be able to buy too much time. Time slowly passed. While Mo Qingyun was racing against time to set up the formation, Dan Teng and the others could no longer sit still. They realized that something was wrong. Ice Snow Castle, Conference Hall. Strange. Jiang Shangwu has been gone for almost a day. Why hasn't he returned yet? Dan Teng calculated the time in his heart and realized that something was wrong. He opened his mouth and asked the people around him. Upon hearing Dan Teng's words, Ding Zhao and the others nodded. They realized that something was wrong. Logically speaking, with Jiang Shangwu's Saint Stage cultivation, it should be more than enough to deal with a junior at the Tai Xian Immortal Stage. However, Jiang Shangwu had been gone for an entire day, and there was no news at all. This was too strange. Ding Man, go to Mo Qingyun's residence and see what's going on. Ding Zhao pondered for a moment, then waved his hand and gave an order to a middle-aged man behind him. Upon hearing Ding Zhao's order, the young man immediately responded and rushed toward Mo Qingyun's residence. Not long after, Mo Qingyun, who was setting up the array formation, suddenly frowned. "It's here. It seems that there's no more time to set up the array formation. It's time for me to leave the ice castle." With this thought, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer and immediately flew out of the ice castle. He's not here? Jiang Shangwu is not here either? When Mo Qingyun left the ice castle, Ding Man realized that something was wrong and immediately went to report to Ding Zhao. Ding Man returned to the conference hall and truthfully reported the situation at the Greenscale Mountain Palace to Ding Zhao. Mo Qingyun is not at the Greenscale Mountain Palace. Jiang Shangwu is also not there. After hearing Ding Man's report, Ding Zhao's expression immediately changed. He also realized that something was wrong. From the current situation, Jiang Shangwu might have met with some mishap. We seem to have underestimated Mo Qingyan. There might be experts secretly protecting him. That should be the case. In response to Ding Zhao's guess, Dan Ting nodded. He recalled Quan Chengyi's words and said, "When Quan Cheng brought Mo Qingyan back, he seemed to have told me that there was a Saint Realm expert following Mo Qingyan. It must have been that person who secretly acted. If that's the case, the situation is a little troublesome." Guessing that it was Yu Dihai who had acted, Ding Zhao's expression immediately became serious. He said with a worried expression, "Mo Qingyan knows that we are trying to harm him. He will definitely not stay. If he secretly tells the secret of Xuanwu's secret plane to the other three forces, it will be troublesome." Hearing Ding Zhao's words, the expressions of Dan Teng and the others all changed. Intense worry flashed across their eyes. Quick, go and stop Mo Qingyan. We can't let him leave the ice castle." Thinking that the secret of Xuanwu's secret plane might be leaked by Mo Qingyan, Dan Teng and the others could not sit still. Then, these people left the conference hall and rushed towards the exit of the ice castle. Boom, boom, boom. Just as Ding Zhao and the others were about to act, a terrifying wave of energy suddenly came from within the ice castle. Then, the crystal-like ice castles were blasted into ice mist and melted on the ground. Seeing this, Ding Zhao and the others were immediately shocked. A strong sense of foreboding rose in their hearts. If these ice castles were destroyed, they might not be able to hide anymore. They would be discovered by the other three forces. However, although Ding Zhao and the others knew, they did not have the ability to stop this from happening. In a short moment, the ice peaks of the ice castle's four entrances had all turned into ice mist and melted into the air. The ice castle was destroyed. Looking at the snowy castle that had become bare, the faces of Ding Zhao and the others immediately became as dark as ink. Mo Qingyan had really gone too far. He had actually destroyed their hiding place, causing them to have no fixed abode. To be more precise, it was not them who had become homeless, but their disciples who had become homeless. Damn brat, I will not forgive you. Looking at the ruined ice castle, Dan Teng's body trembled. He wanted nothing more than to grind Mo Qingyan's bones to dust. Dan Teng pondered for a moment. He thought of something and immediately said to the others, "That brat was able to control the formation and destroy the ice castle. He must still be here. Let's split up and search. We must find him." Hearing Dan Teng's suggestion, Ding Zhao and the others immediately agreed and quickly moved. Chapter 1983. Actually, Mo Qingyan had not gone far. He had only been hiding outside the entrance of the ice castle. This was because Mo Qingyan knew that he had detonated the array within the ice castle and destroyed half of the castle. It was too late for him to escape. Even if he used the Shadow Dragon transformation, he would not be faster than Ding Zhao and the others. Just now, when Ding Zhao and the others had approached, he had discovered that although their auras were not as strong as the Pill Devils, they were not far off. Luckily, although their cultivation levels are high, their senses are not as strong. They cannot be compared to masters. When Ding Zhao and the others had approached, Mo Qingyan's heart had been in his throat. He was extremely nervous. Although he had used the door of concealment to hide his body and prevent others from sensing his presence, this was only for ordinary people. However, this was only applicable to ordinary Saint Realm experts. For someone as powerful as Ding Zhao, it might not necessarily be effective. More importantly, Mo Qingyan was very worried that Ding Zhao would sense the door of creation and find his hiding place. If that was the case, he would be in a terrible situation. His chances of escaping would be very slim. Luckily, Ding Zhao and the others did not sense the door of creation and did not discover his hiding place. If that's the case, I'll play with you a little longer. After confirming that he was safe, a wicked smile appeared on Mo Qingyan's face, and he began to formulate his next plan. Soon, a perfect blueprint for a plan appeared in Mo Qingyan's mind. However, Mo Qingyun was not in a hurry to act. Instead, he continued to watch from the entrance. While Mo Qingyun was watching, the disciples who had been injured by the array were sent into the ice castle to be treated. As for the other disciples who had recovered from their injuries, they were trying to build mountain peaks around the snow castle. It was just that the difference between these man-made icebergs and those naturally formed icebergs was too great. It's good to build some. Otherwise, I won't have a target next time. Observing the situation within the snow castle, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He was not in a hurry at all as he waited. While Mo Qingyun was waiting, Danting quietly left the ice snow castle with a few sage stage powerhouses. From the looks of it, they might have gone to look for the Xuanwu secret realm. They would first go to the Xuanwu secret realm to check things out. Mo Qingyun was not worried about their actions. He did not think that Dantung and the others would be able to enter the Xuanwu secret realm. If the Xuanwu mystic realm was so easy to enter, it wouldn't have waited until now. It would have been emptied long ago. As Mo Qingyun waited, time slowly passed. About 7 days later, Dantung and the others, who had quietly left the snow castle, returned with heavy expressions. Looking at them, if there were no accidents, they should have failed to enter the Black Tortoise secret territory. These guys left quietly. I want to see what they're going to do. Seeing that Dantung and the others had returned, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before quietly following them. Not long after, Mo Qingyun followed Dantung and the others to the great meeting hall of the Snow Castle. Vice Alliance leader Dantung, did your investigation of the Xuanwu secret realm go smoothly? Looking at Dantung below the hall, Ding Zhao had a nervous expression as he carefully asked Dantung. Under Ding Zhao's questioning, Dantung's expression was heavy. He sighed and said, "Under our careful investigation, we did indeed find the location of the Xuanwu secret realm. However, outside the Xuanwu secret realm, there was a terrifying saint aura that suppressed all saint aura." You mean to say that saint stage experts can't enter the Xuanwu secret realm? After listening to Dantung's explanation, Ding Zhao's frown did not tighten as he probed Dantung. Hearing Ding Zhao's words, Dantung shook his head and said, "That's not the case. Saint stage experts can enter as well. However, once they enter, their cultivation will be suppressed to below the saint stage, and they will not be able to use saint aura and saint force." Hearing Dantung's words, Ding Zhao and the others immediately frowned. They felt that it was a little difficult. The strength of a saint stage expert was that they had a powerful saint aura and an even more powerful saint force. If they lost these two powers, they would be like a nine heavens Xian immortal without their own trump cards and reliance. In this way, a saint stage expert's chances of winning against a nine heavens Xian immortal were not obvious. While Ding Zhao and the others were feeling gloomy, an old man next to Dantung pondered for a moment and added, "In addition, we have encountered many mermaid souls in the Xuanwu secret realm. Each of them is very powerful. Ordinary disciples are no match for them at the same level." Mermaid souls? Hearing the words of the old man behind Dantung, Ding Zhao and the others were shocked and their hearts sank. In this way, it would be more difficult to take down the Xuanwu secret realm. While Ding Zhao and the others were feeling gloomy, Mo Qingyun was also shocked and immediately began to guess. There are mermaid souls in the Xuanwu secret realm. Could it be related to the ancestral tomb of the mermaids? No matter what, I want to go to the Xuanwu secret realm even more now. Mo Qingyun thought for a moment and became even more eager to enter the Xuanwu secret realm. While Mo Qingyun's heart was burning fervently, he didn't show the slightest bit of fear. Instead, ecstasy appeared on his face. Others were afraid of the mermaid souls, but Mo Qingyun was not afraid. Instead, he liked it very much. There were many souls in the Xuanwu secret realm. Naturally, there were many remnant souls, which allowed him to summon ghosts without any worries. If he could create an army of ghosts, there would be no saint stage experts to suppress him. Who would be able to fight against him? While Mo Qingyun was thinking, he eavesdropped for a while and left the conference hall. Letting Dantung and the others take the map doesn't seem to be a bad thing. After listening to Dan Tung and the others, Mo Qingyun had a clear understanding of the situation in the Xuanwu secret realm. Judging from the current situation, Dan Tung and the others had gone to explore the Xuanwu secret realm. They had become his scouts. I can't let you guys work for free. I have to repay you. Mo Qingyun thought to himself. He did not delay any longer. He was in the ice castle and did not know about the formation. In order to make it easier for him to do things, Mo Qingyun did not hide himself. He only covered himself with a cloak. In order to cover himself, Mo Qingyun walked to the ice mountains and helped them build the formation. Of course, Mo Qingyun was not really building the formation. He was just helping them set up the formation. However, the array formation that Mo Qingyun had set up wasn't a real array formation. Instead, he was secretly sabotaging it. Because the ice castle had been destroyed, no one paid attention to Mo Qingyun. They were suspicious of Mo Qingyun's identity. Seeing that everything was going smoothly, Mo Qingyun was immediately delighted. He did not expect things to go so smoothly. Chapter 1984. Junior brother, I didn't expect you to be so skilled in formations. Junior brother, why are you wearing a mask and a cloak? Isn't that strange? When the formation exploded and the ice collapsed, this junior brother was affected and his face was completely disfigured. It's all because of that Mo guy. Junior brother, you must be trying so hard to set up the formation for revenge. Junior brother, are you done? Come and help us. After seeing Mo Qingyun's skills and formations, many people started to chat with him. They were very concerned and sympathetic towards him. Mo Qingyun only smiled meaningfully in response to everyone's attitude. He didn't reveal too much of his emotions. What he was thinking now was to secretly tamper with the formation so that he could strike again when the time came. Because of Mo Qingyun's skills and formations, many people asked him to help. This gave Mo Qingyun many opportunities to strike. I didn't expect everything to go so smoothly. It saved me a lot of trouble. Seeing that everything was going so smoothly, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He helped everyone set up the formation unhurriedly. While Mo Qingyun was setting up the array formation, time passed bit by bit, causing Mo Qingyun to lose himself a little. At this time, a group of arrogant people came in front of Mo Qingyun and the others. All of you stop. Young leader Dingshan has something to say. When this group of people arrived, a one-eared young man glanced at everyone coldly. Hearing the one-eared young man's voice, everyone stopped and looked at Dingshan in awe. This Dingshan's appearance was 70% similar to Ding Zhao. He should be Ding Zhao's direct relative. Seeing that everyone had stopped, the one-eared young man pointed at Dingshan and said, Young leader Dingshan needs to set up a strong formation to build the ice mountain. Those of you who know formations, immediately follow me to young leader Dingshan's ice mountain. Hearing the one-eared young man's words, everyone was unhappy and showed an unwilling attitude. Sir Jiangge, the formation has gone to help young Alliance Master Dingshan. What about our ice mountain? Young Alliance Master Dingshan, our ice peak is originally simple and crude. If there is no formation to stabilize it, it will melt very quickly. Young Alliance Master, I've already set up half of the ice peak formation. Can you wait a little longer? In an instant, pleading words came out from the mouths of the crowd. While everyone was begging, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and looked at Dingshan with interest. This Dingshan's status isn't low. If we tamper with his formation, the effect should be better. Looking at Dingshan in front of him, Mo Qingyun pondered and quickly came up with a plan. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he immediately became much more enthusiastic about helping Dingshan set up the array formation. Shut up. Which is more important, your ice mountain or the young Alliance Master's ice mountain? Without waiting for everyone to finish speaking, the one-eared young man shouted loudly, stopping everyone's words. After stopping everyone's words, the one-eared young man's face became colder. He said, Those who know about formations, immediately stand over here and follow me to build the ice mountain for the young Alliance Master. Under the one-eared young man's command, The formation masters didn't dare to hesitate and immediately walked to the designated position. When Mo Qingyun saw this, he followed everyone and walked to the designated area. Then, Mo Qingyun followed Ding Shan and the others to the ice mountain that Ding Shan was building. Ding Shan was indeed the young alliance master. The ice mountain that he was going to live in was really too grand and luxurious. Even the ice mountain that Quan Cheng Yi lived in was a little inferior to the ice mountain that Ding Shan was building now. This is Master Wu Zirui. Next, listen to Master Wu Zirui's instructions and seriously set up the formation for the young alliance master. When they arrived in front of Ding Shan's ice mountain, the one-eared young man coldly shouted again and gave Mo Qingyun and the others an order. Hearing the one-eared young man's words, everyone didn't dare to hesitate and immediately followed Wu Zirui's instructions. Young alliance master, there aren't enough materials to set up the formation. We also need some dark meteorites, triple ice crystals. Wu Zirui came in front of Ding Shan and explained all the materials that he needed to set up the formation to Ding Shan. After hearing Wu Zirui's words, Ding Shan nodded and said in a deep voice, "Master, lead everyone to build the ice mountain first. I'll get the missing materials from the secret vault." "Thank you for your trouble, young alliance master." Wu Zirui nodded and began to walk towards Mo Qingyun and the others to give instructions to Mo Qingyun and the others. Listening to Wu Zirui and Ding Shan's conversation, Mo Qingyun's eyes lit up. He suddenly thought of a brilliant plan. If I'm not wrong, this Ding Shan is going to the secret vault of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. If I follow him into the secret vault, I'll definitely gain a lot. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and secretly used the hidden door. Soon, Mo Qingyun's figure faded bit by bit and disappeared from everyone's sight. Due to Mo Qingyun's identity and status, even if he disappeared, no one would notice his presence. After concealing his identity, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately followed behind Ding Shan and the others. After a while, Mo Qingyun followed Ding Shan and the others to the outside of an ice house. There was a Saint Realm expert and several quasi-Saint Realm experts here, guarding the secret vault of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. Young Alliance Master. When they noticed Ding Shan's arrival, they all stood up and bowed to him. Ding Shan's expression didn't change at their actions. He took out a token from his pocket and said, "I've come on my father's orders to get some materials for setting up the formation. Seniors, please open the secret vault." "Yes." Looking at the token in Ding Shan's hand, they didn't dare to stop him and immediately opened the secret vault. As the secret vault was opened, Ding Shan took out a snow-white key and tossed it into the vault. The snow-white key flew out of Ding Shan's hand and emitted a silver-white light. When the snow-white key flew out of the vault, a light screen appeared in the vault and a gap slowly appeared. Soon, the gap became the size of a person and could accommodate one person. Seeing the gap appear, Ding Shan stepped in and entered the vault. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate at all and immediately followed him into the vault. As Mo Qingyun entered the vault, the gap at the entrance began to shrink little by little. After entering the vault, Mo Qingyun was shocked by the wealth of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. It was worthy of being an alliance of many sections. The wealth it possessed was comparable to hundreds of cloud heaven cities. With these cultivation materials, I don't have to worry about the cultivation resources of the Immortal Palace of Fortune for the next 10 years. Chapter 1985. Who's there? Sensing Mo Qingyun's attack, Ding Shan turned around and raised his head as he shouted angrily. A figure slowly appeared above his head and entered his line of sight. "It's you." Ding Shan immediately recognized Mo Qingyun when he saw him, and a look of surprise flashed across his face. As Mo Qingyun was wearing a cloak, it was out of place with the other people's clothes. Therefore, he had some impression of Mo Qingyun. When he gathered the formation masters earlier, Mo Qingyun was among them. He was a formation master with good attainments in the formation Tao. However, to his surprise, Mo Qingyun actually followed him all the way to the secret vault of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. Grand unity, profound, immortal realm? Sensing Mo Qingyun's aura, the corners of Ding Shan's mouth curled up slightly, and a look of disdain appeared in his eyes. With his cultivation at the 9th level of the 9 heavens' profound immortal realm, he could kill Mo Qingyun with a casual breath. Kid, you followed me into the secret vault without anyone noticing. You're quite capable. Looking at Mo Qingyun, who was getting closer and closer, Ding Shan did not show the slightest fear. His expression was indifferent as he chatted wittily. In his opinion, with Mo Qingyun's cultivation, even if he stood there and let Mo Qingyun hit him, Mo Qingyun would not be able to do anything to him. Don't say that I didn't give you a chance. You're a genius in the formation Dao. As long as you stop immediately, I can give you a chance to change. As Ding Shan spoke, Mo Qingyun's palm approached him. Looking at the palm that was approaching him, Ding Shan did not dare to be careless. He raised his hand and swung it at Mo Qingyun. Perhaps because he had underestimated his opponent, Ding Shan's palm was very casual and did not use any immortal arts or divine abilities. Boom! The two palms collided and immediately exploded with a loud bang, creating a shocking energy storm. As the energy raged wildly, Ding Shan was hit by a wave of energy and was sent flying. Puff! When Ding Shan was sent flying, his qi and blood surged, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. What a powerful strength. It's almost comparable to a quasi-saint realm expert. Ding Shan was sent flying for dozens of meters before he stabilized his footing. He looked at Mo Qingyun with shock. Who are you? Are you a spy from the Madman League? Immortal Slaying Halls? Or the devil from the Devil Clan? In Ding Shan's opinion, Mo Qingyun's sudden appearance was definitely related to the three forces. You are not qualified to know who I am. In response to Ding Shan's question, Mo Qingyun responded indifferently and rushed towards Ding Shan. Ding Shan's face twitched when he saw Mo Qingyun attacking again. He immediately took out a token and inserted a strand of immortal spiritual energy into it. Then, the token flashed and vibrated violently in the air, forming a connection with the secret vault. Kid, how dare you attack me? Don't even think about escaping today. Ding Shan activated the token as a cold smile appeared on his face. His gaze was that of one looking at prey as he said, My father and the other Vice Alliance heads will arrive here very soon. Just wait to be captured and killed by them. After sending out a distress signal, Ding Shan didn't dare to be careless. He immediately resisted Mo Qingyun's attack with all his strength. But what terrified him was that when he counterattacked, several powerful saint auras suddenly appeared around him. UD High, take him down. The others collect the treasures in the secret vault. After summoning UD High and the others, Mo Qingyun immediately ordered them to collect the treasures in the vault. Although some of the treasures in the vault had been stabilized by formations, it wasn't difficult for Gong Pingyang and the others to collect them with their cultivation. Ding Shan didn't have the slightest ability to resist UD High's attack and was captured in an instant. Boom, boom, boom. As Gong Pingyang and the others moved, some of the small formations in the vault were forcibly broken. Then, they put the precious cultivation materials into their storage rings. In a short while, the entire vault was emptied. Not a single thing was left. Ding Shan's face turned pale as he looked at this scene. He was dumbfounded on the spot. The Anti-Immortal Alliance's years of accumulation were all gone in an instant. These people were bandits. I'll send you to the Fortune mainland. After emptying the vault, Mo Qingyun immediately ordered everyone to send them to the Fortune mainland. When Mo Qingyun sent UD High and the others away, a terrifying aura came from outside the vault. They came so quickly. Sensing the powerful aura outside the vault, Mo Qingyun was shocked and couldn't help but sigh inwardly. While Mo Qingyun was still shocked, he immediately activated the concealment gate and hid himself. Concealment gate. Soon, a small light gate enveloped Mo Qingyun. Then, Mo Qingyun's expression began to fade little by little. Who are you? When Mo Qingyun's figure disappeared, Ding Zhao discovered him. His face was gloomy as he shouted angrily, Where is Ding Shan? What did you do to him? Just as Ding Zhao's words fell, Dan Teng, who was behind him, shouted with a gloomy face, "No matter who this person is, his appearance in the vault must be related to the young lord's request for help. Take action immediately and capture him. He used a concealment technique and is hiding his aura and figure bit by bit. Quick, take action quickly. If he conceals himself, we can't do anything to him. Brat, where do you think you're going? Surrender now." In an instant, Ding Zhao and the others attacked Mo Qingyun domineeringly. Seeing Ding Zhao and the others attack, Mo Qingyun didn't dare to be careless and immediately retreated. While Mo Qingyun was retreating, his figure was also hiding bit by bit. While Mo Qingyun was retreating, Ding Zhao and the others attacked the walls of the vault. Boom, boom, boom. A series of loud noises were heard. Then, the walls of the vault began to crack, and the formation became chaotic. At the same time, a terrifying storm of energy spread out in the secret vault. In this chaotic process, Mo Qingyun had indeed completely concealed himself. Not even the slightest fluctuation of aura could be detected. "I can't sense that, brat." Seeing that Mo Qingyun had disappeared, Ding Zhao's expression turned cold. His old face trembled with anger as he angrily said, "Boy, if you have the guts, then come out for this old man. Don't hide here." Hearing Ding Zhao's words, Mo Qingyun didn't respond at all. He only smiled contemptuously. What a joke. There were more than a dozen Saint Realm experts here, and they weren't ordinary Saint Realm experts. Could he fight them head-on? Seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't respond, Ding Zhao and the others' faces turned ugly. They felt helpless. When this feeling appeared, Ding Zhao and the others became even angrier. They felt stifled in their hearts. Chapter 1986. Time passed by slowly. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. Mo Qingyun still did not move at all. There was no sign of him showing up either. Seeing this, Ding Zhao and the others were getting anxious. Their patience was wearing thin. Did that kid run away? Why isn't he showing up yet? Yeah, if he used his divine power to conceal himself, he couldn't have lasted for so long. The secret vault is stabilized by a formation. The formation hasn't moved at all. He can't have run away. What's going on? How did that kid disappear into thin air? We can't keep wasting time like this. When we went to the Xuanwu Mystery Realm last time, we attracted the attention of the three forces. I'm afraid the Xuanwu Mystery Realm can't be hidden for much longer. Once the Xuanwu Mystery Realm is exposed, we won't be able to do anything. We can't keep wasting time with this kid. Dan Teng and the others looked anxious. They all tried to persuade Ding Zhao that they were not willing to wait any longer. Hearing Dan Teng and the others' words, Ding Zhao's expression turned serious. He also looked anxious. He could tell that if this situation continued, it would be a waste of effort. Alliance leader Dan, take everyone out first. I'll continue to guard this place. Ding Zhao hesitated for a moment. He then ordered Dan Teng and the others to deal with the Xuanwu Mystery Realm. He said, Shire might have fallen into that person's hands. I can't just ignore it. We understand. After hearing Ding Zhao's words, Dan Teng and the others looked enlightened. They all nodded at Ding Zhao. Dan Teng and the others talked for a while more. They then left the secret vault and opened the formation. Finally can't hold it in anymore? Seeing Dan Teng and the others' actions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He walked towards the exit of the secret vault unhurriedly. Then, Mo Qingyun quietly escaped from the secret vault. According to what Dan Teng said, the Xuanwu secret realm is probably going to be exposed. Recalling Dan Teng's words, a trace of anxiety appeared on Mo Qingyun's face. He didn't want to waste any more time. If that's the case, I should also leave this place. Don't let the three forces get here first. Detonate. Mo Qingyun made up his mind. He did not hesitate any longer and immediately detonated the ice snow castle's array formation. Boom, boom, boom. A series of loud noises suddenly rang out within the ice castle. The ice peaks that had just been built also exploded one after another when the sound was heard. In just a short while, the newly built ice peak was completely destroyed, and the snow castle was once again in a mess. They've gone too far. They've gone too far. Mo Qingyun, it must be Mo Qingyun. He's really arrogant. He actually dares to stay in the city. Does he really think that we're pushovers? Mo Qingyun must have done what happened to Ding Shan and the secret vault. Damn brat. I won't rest until you're dead. After connecting the dots, Dan Teng and the others immediately knew who the person who had caused all of this was. Other than Mo Qingyun. Who else would have the ability to do so? At this moment, they realized that they had underestimated Mo Qingyun, and they had paid the price for it. This is bad. Since Mo Qingyun has escaped, he'll definitely take revenge on us. That's right. In order to take revenge on us, he might expose the Xuanwu secret realm. The secret vault is already empty. We can't let anything happen to the Xuanwu secret realm. Otherwise, we'll suffer a great loss. Gather everyone immediately. We'll set off for the Xuanwu secret realm immediately. After a short while, Dan Teng and the others gathered everyone and set off for the Xuanwu secret realm. While Dan Teng and the others were hurrying, Mo Qingyun did not waste any more time and quietly followed behind them. Since we're going the same way, I'll play with you. Looking at Dan Teng and the others who were hurrying ahead, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly, and a plan formed in his mind. Immediately, while Dan Teng and the others were hurrying, they were constantly attacked by demonic beasts. From time to time, some Saint Realm demonic beasts would charge in their direction as if they had gone mad. When these demonic beasts approached them, they would attack them crazily without any hesitation. If Dan Teng and the others were not strong enough, they would have been wiped out long ago. Even so, they were battered and exhausted. Many of the juniors who were not strong enough were seriously injured because of this. Dan Teng and the others were naturally very clear about this situation. They knew that Mo Qingyun was playing tricks in the dark. This damn brat is really haunting us. Mo Qingyun, you better not let me see you. Otherwise, I'll skin you alive and pull out your tendons. This really pisses me off. This brat is like a sticky candy. I can't get rid of him. Back then, shouldn't we have listened to Quan Cheng Yi and not offended this brat? It's all over now. No wonder this brat offended the three major forces. This brat offended all of us. He won't have a good ending. Dan Teng and the others discussed with each other, venting their anger. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore the anger of Dan Teng and the others. He enjoyed teasing them. While Mo Qingyun was teasing Dan Teng and the others, they arrived near the Xuanwu secret territory and prepared to enter the Xuanwu secret territory. The Xuanwu secret territory was hidden in an inconspicuous iceberg. It would be difficult to find it if one did not pay attention. This is the Xuanwu secret territory. Looking at the Xuanwu secret territory in front of him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. He thought to himself, if that's the case, I won't hold back. After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he no longer hesitated and prepared to enter the Xuanwu secret territory. When Mo Qingyun entered the Xuanwu secret territory, the three major forces quietly approached and surrounded Dan Teng and the others. So they found the secret territory. No wonder they came again without fear of death. This is going to be interesting. Everyone is gathered here. Divine Ancestor, this is the Xuanwu secret territory. I've obtained a map of it before. The Xuanwu secret territory is one of the top 10 secret territories in the Wild Continent. We must get it. When the three major forces arrived, they began to approach the people of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. They each had their own agenda. The three major forces are here. Noticing the people from the three major forces approaching, Dan Teng and the others' faces twitched, revealing a frightened expression. Not good. Our whereabouts have been exposed. It seems that after they left last time, they have been secretly observing us. This time, we were careless. Hearing Dan Teng's words, the people of the Anti-Immortal Alliance panicked. With their strength, they could not compete with the three major forces and snatch the Xuanwu secret territory from them. You guys enter the Xuanwu secret territory immediately. We'll hold them off for a while. Seeing that the situation was not right, Dan Tung immediately ordered Yang Mu and the others to enter the Xuanwu secret territory first. Chapter 1987. This aura seems to be. Arriving outside the Black Tortoise secret domain, ZK's brows furrowed as he scanned the surroundings. While ZK was looking around, he also released his soul power to sense around the entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm. After sensing for a while, ZK's eyes suddenly sharpened and flashed with a sharp light. He said, "This is the aura of the gate of creation. I didn't expect to find the gate of creation here. This trip to the Xuanwu secret realm was worth it," ZK said to himself in surprise. He raised his hand and clenched it, blasting out a shocking saint power. Seeing ZK's action, everyone was shocked and showed surprise and awe. They were very clear about how powerful ZK's strength was. In the current wild continent, the number of people who could defeat ZK could be counted with 2 hands. Facing ZK's powerful attack, how could they not be nervous and afraid? However, to their surprise, the direction that ZK was attacking at wasn't the place where their 3 forces were gathered. Seeing this scene, the people from the 3 powers all revealed puzzled expressions. ZK gave them the feeling that he was practicing a divine power secret skill. "I've been discovered." While the 3 forces were puzzled, Emo Qingyun's heart skipped a beat, and his face instantly changed. Seeing that he had been discovered by ZK, Emo Qingyun's face immediately tensed up, and his heart was in his mouth. An existence like ZK was not someone he could compete with. Even if he used the gate of fusion and combined the cultivation of UD High and the others, he could not fight with Z Quebec. The gap between the two was too big, and it was not something that could be made up with some external force. The Xuanwu secret realm will suppress one's cultivation. As long as he enters the Xuanwu secret realm, ZK will lose his support. Emo Qingyun's mind spun quickly, and he immediately thought of the best way to resolve the crisis in front of him. Emo Qingyun's figure flashed and flew toward the entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm, avoiding ZK's attack. Emo Qingyun dodged quickly. Although he barely avoided ZK's attack, he was still affected by the aftershock of the attack. Bang! After being struck by ZK's palm, Emo Qingyun was immediately sent flying towards the entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm. As Emo Qingyun flew backwards, his hidden body appeared in everyone's eyes. "It's him. Why is this brat here? Stop him. Don't let him enter the Xuanwu secret realm. Emo Qingyun, you won't be able to escape today. Get over here and accept your death." Seeing Emo Qingyun appear, everyone was immediately enraged, and the spearhead instantly pointed at Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun ignored the crowd's anger and continued to rush toward the Xuanwu secret realm without looking back. "Die, brat." Seeing Emo Qingyun's actions, ZK immediately understood his intentions and blasted a palm at him again. A terrifying surge of saint energy quickly gathered in ZK's palm and turned into a huge palm. As soon as the saint energy palm formed, it emitted a strong suction force, as if to suck Emo Qingyun into the palm. "Little bastard, you destroyed the Anti-Immortal Alliance's sect. Die." When Dan Tong saw Emo Qingyun, he immediately roared angrily, showing his hatred for Emo Qingyun. This damn brat not only destroyed the Snow Castle, but also left them with no place to hide. He even emptied the Anti-Immortal Alliance's secret vault, leaving them with no cultivation resources. How could he tolerate such a thing? Danting did not show any mercy. His right hand swiped at the void, and Saint Energy quickly gathered at his fingertips. Finger of Killer Heaven. With a wave of Dan Tong's finger, the Silver Saint Energy turned into a sword radiance and slashed toward Emo Qingyun. Perhaps Emo Qingyun was too lucky, but the sword radiance that Dan Tong blasted out collided with ZK's palm. Boom! A loud noise was heard, and it instantly reverberated through heaven and earth, spreading far and wide. Following that, a terrifying surge of Saint Energy swept through the entire entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm. "Quick, protect the juniors," Seeing the terrifying Saint energy storm forming, ZK and the others did not dare to be careless and immediately protected the juniors around them. In the face of such a terrifying Saint energy storm, if one's cultivation was not in the Saint realm, he would definitely be seriously injured. Soon, a powerful Saint energy shield formed and protected the juniors around them. Compared to the juniors around them, Mo Qingyun's situation was worse. Mo Qingyun was the first to be engulfed by the storm of Saint energy, and he was instantly swallowed up. Poof! Under the impact of the storm, Mo Qingyun immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face became as pale as a sheet. Although his physical body was strong, he was still unable to withstand the impact of this level. Fortunately, his physical body was terrifying. Otherwise, under the impact of the Saint energy storm, he would have instantly turned into ashes. Roar! The Saint energy storm spread to the entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm, and a terrifying beast roar came out from the entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm. As the beast roared, a powerful willpower burst out from the Xuanwu secret realm. Under the impact of this willpower, the Saint energy storm was immediately blocked, and in the blink of an eye, it was overbearingly dispersed. Without the impact of the Saint energy storm, the pressure on Mo Qingyun was greatly reduced, and his expression became much more relaxed. That was close. Fortunately, the willpower of the Xuanwu secret realm dispersed the Saint energy storm. Seeing the Saint energy storm dissipate bit by bit, Mo Qingyun took a deep breath, and a sense of relief rose in his heart. Although the Saint energy storm had dissipated, Mo Qingyun did not dare to be careless, and immediately rushed into the Xuanwu secret realm. Rushing into the Xuanwu secret realm, Mo Qingyun looked at Dan Teng and smiled. Alliance leader Dan Teng, you did well. I will not disappoint you, and I will empty the Xuanwu secret realm. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his figure disappeared, and he disappeared from everyone's sight. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Dan Teng was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Not disappoint you, my foot. You have emptied the Xuanwu secret realm. What else can they get? More importantly, what he did just now wasn't to save Mo Qingyun. However, the people from the other three forces did not care about what he thought. In the eyes of others, Dan Teng's action just now was clearly to help Mo Qingyun. If he did not help, with the power of ZK's palm, he could easily kill Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was not in the mood to care about Dan Teng's depressed mood. Poof! Entering the Xuanwu secret realm, Mo Qingyun vomited blood again, and his face became even paler. Although he had forcefully suppressed the qi and blood in his body earlier, it was obvious that he could not suppress it anymore. No, my injuries are too serious this time. I have to find a place to heal first. Sensing his own condition, Mo Qingyun's expression was heavy, and he quickly flew into the Xuanwu secret realm. He was sure that the people from the four forces would enter the Xuanwu secret realm soon. Chapter 1988. Mo Qingyun has entered the Xuanwu secret realm. We must stop him immediately. Otherwise, the treasure will be taken by him. The battle between the two divine ancestors just now produced a powerful saint power fluctuation. It must have seriously injured Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun was seriously injured by the saint power storm. He must have found a place to heal first before looking for the treasure in the secret realm. This is a good opportunity to kill Mo Qingyun. We must not let it go. At the same time, we can seize the opportunity to snatch the treasure. Enter the Xuanwu secret realm immediately. Even if we can't get the treasure, we must kill Mo Qingyun. When the people from the various forces saw Mo Qingyun enter the Xuanwu secret realm, they immediately tensed up. Then, the people from the four forces began to enter the Xuanwu secret realm. Rongxi, Mo Qingyun has emptied the secret vault of the Alliance. We must take him down before the other forces capture him. Thinking of the emptied secret vault of the Anti-Mortal Alliance, Dan Teng had a serious expression as he spoke to a young woman behind him. The woman was very beautiful. She wore a white sable robe and had a cold temperament. like a winter plum blossom in a snowy day. Yes. Hearing Dan Tang's words, Rongshi nodded and said coldly, I also want to see what kind of ability the person who dares to live in the palace of Greenscale Mountain has. Rongshi muttered to herself. She then signaled to Yang Mu and the others to fly toward the entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm. Seeing Rongshi's actions, Yang Mu and the others looked at each other and quickly followed behind her. Essentially, this Mo Qingyun is not simple. Don't take the initiative to fight him. A divine ancestor of the immortal slaying hall looked at the entrance of the Xuanwu secret realm and said to Shenchili. According to Shenchili's report and his observation earlier, his evaluation of Mo Qingyun had improved. Yes, sacred ancestor. Upon hearing Shinta Urshan's words, Shenchili immediately responded and retracted his contempt for Mo Qingyun. The more he interacted with Mo Qingyun, the more he realized that Mo Qingyun was harder to deal with than he had imagined. Who had managed to gain the slightest advantage over Mo Qingyun in their repeated confrontations? Previously, when they were bidding for the Dragon Turtle Immortal Brew, he and Situ Chung had suffered a loss. They had been fooled by Mo Qingyun. When Ziling dealt with Mo Qingyun, not only did she fail to do anything to Mo Qingyun, but she was also seriously injured by Mo Qingyun. As for the Anti-Immortal Alliance, judging from Dan Tung's performance just now, it was obvious that they had suffered a great loss at the hands of Mo Qingyun. After the series of events, no one dared to look down on Mo Qingyun anymore, unless they had suffered enough losses. All right, you guys follow me. After instructing Shenchili, Shinda Erzhan waved his hand and allowed Shenchili and the others to enter the Xuanwu Arcane Realm. When Shenchili and the others entered the Xuanwu Arcane Realm, a green-haired powerhouse from the Madman League said to Sidu Chung and the others beside him, Char, enter the Xuanwu Arcane Realm. Don't worry about the treasures in the Xuanwu Arcane Realm. Just capture Mo Qingyun for me. Great-grandfather, Mo Qingyun is just a nobody. How can he compare to the treasures in the Xuanwu Arcane Realm? After hearing the green-haired powerhouse's words, Situ Chung was puzzled and immediately asked the former. Upon hearing Situ Cheng's question, Situ Chingha smiled meaningfully and said, his value is not something a small arcane realm can compare to. The matters involved are too complicated, and it's not something you can touch on. Situ Chung and the others were puzzled, but he did not ask further. He understood Situ Chingha's meaning. Go in. After a brief explanation, Situ Chingha waved his hand and allowed Situ Chung and the others to enter the Xuanwu Arcane Realm. When Situ Chung and the others entered the Arcane Realm, Situ Chingha sneered and glanced at Z Quebec. Old man ZK, you were in a hurry to attack Mo Qingyun just now. You must have found the Gate of Fortune. If you get the Gate of Fortune, no one on the Wild Continent can stop the Dark Demon Clan. Sensing Situ Chingha's gaze, ZK responded with a sneer. He looked at Ziling and said, Ziling, when you enter the Xuanwu Arcane Realm, don't pay attention to anything except the blood of Xuanwu. Just capture Mo Qingyun with all your strength. As long as Mo Qingyun is captured, the rise of the Dark Demon Clan will be unstoppable. Divine Ancestor ZK, no matter how talented Mo Qingyun is, he is only a Tai Xian immortal. How can he stop our clan? Hearing ZK's words, a Saint Realm expert from the Dark Demon Clan couldn't help but feel puzzled. Although Mo Qingyun was talented, he was still a junior and needed a lot of time to grow. With the Dark Demon Clan's current foundation, it was almost inevitable that they would rule the entire Wild Continent. Before Mo Qingyun grew up, they would have already ruled the entire Wild Continent. If that's what you all think, then you are gravely mistaken. ZK immediately shook his head and said in a deep voice, last time in the Alchemist Temple, this old man thought that Mo Qingyun was only talented in cultivation. But now it seems that the threat he poses to our Dark Devil race is not as simple as it seems on the surface. After hearing ZK's words, everyone was even more puzzled. However, ZK didn't explain. He just nodded to Ziling and said, all right, let's not waste any more time. Take advantage of Mo Qingyun's injuries and find him as soon as possible. Don't let other forces get to him first. Yes. Ziling responded and immediately led the people from the Dark Demon clan to Xuanwu's secret realm. After a while, all the people from the four forces had entered the Xuanwu's secret realm. Immediately gather all those below the Saint realm and send them all into the Xuanwu's secret realm. The Anti-Immortal Alliance wants to steal the treasures of the Xuanwu's secret realm under our noses. It won't be easy. That's right. In terms of a number of disciples below the Saint realm, we have much more than the Anti-Immortal Alliance. The Anti-Immortal Alliance is just a motley crew. They are nothing to worry about. We need to pay attention to the other two forces. After sending the juniors into the Xuanwu's secret realm, the Immortal Slaying Hall, the Madman League, and the Dark Demon clan immediately gathered the juniors below the Saint realm. Mo Qingyun wasn't too clear about what was happening in the outside world. He was looking for a secluded place to heal his injuries. However, the level of danger in the Xuanwu's secret realm was indeed far beyond Mo Qingyun's expectations. Mo Qingyun didn't fly for long before he saw the souls of the merfolk, exuding a terrifying aura. In my current state, it won't be easy for me to kill these merfolk souls. Looking at the merfolk souls blocking his way, Mo Qingyun's heart sank. He stopped and said to himself, if nothing unexpected happens, the people from the four forces will be here soon. I have to shake them off quickly. The hidden door. Mo Qingyun paused for a moment. Then he used the concealment door to hide his figure. Chapter 1989. The Xuanwu secret realm was very spacious. There were mountains, shoals, ancient forests, and lakes. Mo Qingyun flew for a while and arrived at the foot of a mountain. He saw a narrow cave. From the entrance of the cave, he could see that the inside of the cave was very simple. There was only a huge stone platform. The center of the stone platform was cracked, showing the traces of time. It looked like it had been abandoned for a long time. This is it. After briefly sizing up the cave, Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it and immediately walked into the cave. Mo Qingyun jumped onto a huge rock in the cave and sat down cross-legged. He then took out a healing pill and swallowed it. As soon as the elixir entered his mouth, it turned into pure medicine spiritual energy and seeped into Mo Qingyun's body. Sensing the medicine spiritual energy in his body, Mo Qingyun immediately activated the Xianqing scripture to refine the medicine spiritual energy and heal the injuries in his body. Under the guidance of the Xianqing spiritual energy, the medicine spiritual energy was immediately converted and flowed into Mo Qingyun's body. Not long after, the medicine spiritual energy flowed into his limbs and bones under the guidance of the Xianqing spiritual energy. Under the nourishment of the medicine spiritual energy and the Xianqing spiritual energy, the blocked meridians due to the injuries began to unblock and repair bit by bit. The blood clots in the meridians, the shattered flesh and bones were also recovering bit by bit. Not only that, but while Mo Qingyun was recuperating, the absolute beginning fortune bloodline was also activated. Under the effect of the Genesis bloodline, the speed at which Mo Qingyun recovered from his injuries immediately became a little faster. Seeing the situation, Mo Qingyun's face lit up and he deduced, with the current recovery speed, my injuries should be healed in about 10 days. After understanding his situation, Mo Qingyun's mood was much more relaxed, and he heaved a deep sigh of relief. At the same time, Mo Qingyun's fear of ZK and the others had also increased to a new level. Just a trace of the aftermath of the battle can seriously injure me. ZK and the others are too terrifying. The more he interacted with ZK and the others, the more Mo Qingyun realized how weak he was. Knowing that he wasn't strong enough, Mo Qingyun wasn't discouraged. Instead, his fighting spirit was ignited. I haven't cultivated for a long time, so I can't compare with ZK and the others. Give me enough time, and I will definitely surpass them. While Mo Qingyun was healing his wounds, he was also thinking silently. His heart was filled with a strong motivation. Time slowly passed, and Mo Qingyun's injuries slowly healed. His breathing also became more stable. After this period of treatment, the injuries he had suffered earlier were barely stabilized. While Mo Qingyun was recuperating from his injuries, the people from the Four Forces were quickly heading deeper into the Xuanwu secret realm. How unlucky! I just entered the Xuanwu secret realm, and I ran into the soul of a pre-Saint Merman. Fortunately, she made a move to pin it down. Otherwise, we would be in danger. It's just that there are too many merman souls. We got separated from them. The Xuanwu secret realm is full of danger. If we get separated from Shi and the others, we'll be in danger. Let's find a place to hide first, then find a way to contact Shi and the others. There's a stone cave over there. It looks very safe. Let's go in and hide first. Okay, let's go in. As the conversation got closer, several figures walked into the stone cave and entered Mo Qingyun's perception. Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows when he noticed the arrival of these people. He recognized them immediately. These people were none other than Peng Ri and the others from the Anti-Mortal Alliance who had a grudge against him. It's him. Mo Qingyun noticed Peng Ri and the others, and Peng Ri and the others also noticed him. They all stared with wide eyes. Obviously, they didn't expect to meet Mo Qingyun here. Seeing Mo Qingyun on the giant rock, Peng Ri and the others panicked at first. Then fear appeared on their faces. They were well aware of Mo Qingyun's strength. He was definitely not someone they could fight against. However, seeing that Mo Qingyun didn't react, they were relieved. It seemed that Mo Qingyun's injuries were not light, and he couldn't attack them. Then, Peng Ri and the others sneered, and their eyes gradually turned cold. This kid didn't attack us. He must be seriously injured and can't fight us. Senior Brother Ri, this kid has not recovered from his injuries. It's a good opportunity for us to attack. The heavens are on our side. Once we get rid of this kid, we'll definitely be rewarded by the Alliance leader. The more Peng Ri and the others thought about it, the more excited they became. In their eyes, Mo Qingyun was already a fish on the chopping board, waiting to be slaughtered. Kid, you probably didn't expect to fall into my hands one day, did you? After analyzing the situation, Peng Ri sneered and slowly walked towards Mo Qingyun. Sensing Peng Ri's approach, Mo Qingyun slowly opened his eyes. He stared coldly at Peng Ri and said, I ignored you and you took advantage of me. Do you really think I won't kill you? Seeing Mo Qingyun open his eyes, Peng Ri instinctively stopped in his tracks. His face was full of respect. He had no choice. Mo Qingyun was too strong. He had to be careful. This wasn't the snow castle. If he angered Mo Qingyun, he wouldn't show mercy. Even though Mo Qingyun was seriously injured, a starving camel was still bigger than a horse. He didn't dare to underestimate Mo Qingyun. If Mo Qingyun still had the strength to fight, they would be in trouble. Seeing Peng Ri stop in his tracks, Mo Qingyun's expression became even colder and said, On account of Dan Tong helping me at the entrance of Xuanwu's secret realm, I'll spare your lives. Get out of the cave immediately. Mo Qingyun was at a critical moment now and couldn't attack anyone for the time being. Therefore, he could only scare Peng Ri and the others. Of course, Mo Qingyun wasn't afraid of them. If it really didn't work, he could ask Old Man Huang Feng to attack. Even though Saint Stage experts couldn't attack in Xuanwu's secret realm, Old Man Huang Feng could. Now that Old Man Huang Feng's cultivation had entered the 8th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm, it wasn't difficult for him to deal with Peng Ri and the others who were only at the 7th stage. Mo Qingyun was worried that if Old Man Huang Feng and the others fought, it would attract other people and the mermaid soul. It would be troublesome. Peng Ri and the others were just small characters. There was no need to complicate the situation because of them. Young Master Ri, with this kid's character, it's impossible for him to talk nonsense with us. There's only one reason why he hasn't attacked yet. His injuries are too serious. Seeing that Mo Qingyun hadn't made a move yet, Peng Ri's followers immediately analyzed the reason. Chapter 1990. Yeah, since you're so formidable, why don't you come over and hit us? Just like in the palace on Azure Scale Mountain. Just wave your hand and toss us out. Why aren't you making a move? We're waiting for you. After hearing Peng Ri's words, his lackeys also looked like they deserved a beating. Under the escort of his lackeys, Peng Ri raised his head and had an expression that deserved a beating as well as he walked complacently towards Mo Qingyan. But out of caution, Peng Ri didn't make a move rashly, and he just approached bit by bit as if he wanted to probe Mo Qingyan's ability. When he saw Peng Ri's actions, Mo Qingyan guessed their thoughts, and a mocking smile appeared on the corners of his mouth. Since they wanted to play, then he'd play with them. You actually saw through me. If you want to kill me, then come at me. As soon as Mo Qingyan finished speaking, he closed his eyes and assumed a posture as if he was waiting for death. At this moment, Mo Qingyan released his soul energy with the intention of summoning Huang Feng. Peng Ri's group had quite a number of people, so it was better to let Huang Feng launch a surprise attack and eliminate a few of them first. Peng Ri and the others were amused because in their eyes, Mo Qingyan's actions were clearly like he was waiting for death to arrive. Kid, continue acting. Why aren't you continuing? You scared me to death just now. You almost scared me away. Just a little bit more. After all this time, you can't even move your body, yet you're still acting like a big shot. Young Master Ri, there's no need to waste your breath on him. Make a move immediately and capture him. Peng Ri's lackeys were burning with eagerness, and they wished for nothing more than to execute Mo Qingyan on the spot. When he heard their suggestions, Peng Ri's sneer grew deeper, and he put down the vigilance in his heart. After that, Peng Ri and the others felt at ease and walked slowly towards Mo Qingyan. Kid, obediently hand over the things you stole from the treasury, and I'll give you a swift death later. At this moment, before Peng Ri could finish speaking, a strand of terrifying aura appeared. Nine heavens profound, immortal realm. Peng Ri and the others immediately trembled when they sensed the sudden fluctuation of aura. Their eyes became dull. This sudden turn of events was something they had not expected. They were at a loss as to what to do. Sacred Cloud Tempest Palm. When old Devil Huang Feng was summoned, he immediately waved his palms and attacked Peng Ri and one of his followers. When old Yellow Wind attacked, a powerful saint aura burst out from his body. Under the shroud of Saint's aura, Peng Ri and the others' expressions twitched, and the fear in their hearts grew even stronger. Holy might! The old man in front of him actually had Saint aura. Could he be a Saint realm expert? Wind and clouds stirred and thunder rumbled. Two gigantic silver-green palms formed above Peng Ri and the others. Then the two giant palms smashed down on Mount Tai. Faced with old fart Huang Feng's attack, although Peng Ri and the others were panicking, they still hastily took action to defend themselves. Bang, bang, bang. Two loud sounds rang out, and a terrifying cloud of dust formed in the cave. Seeing the storm of dust forming, old Devil Huang Feng immediately raised his palms and blocked the storm for Mo Qingyan. Compared to Mo Qingyan, Peng Ri and the others were not in such a good situation. Faced with old Devil Huang Feng's sneak attack, they were all sent flying by the force of the palm. Puff, puff, puff. Under old Devil Huang Feng's attack, Peng Ri and the others all spat out blood, and their faces turned pale. Peng Ri and the others were sent flying for more than 10 meters before they crashed into the wall of the cave, creating a large hole in the wall. Then, Peng Ri and the others flew out of the cave, and each of them had a fearful expression on their faces. Old Devil Huang Feng was so powerful. He was not someone they could fight against. Even if old Devil Huang Feng did not launch a sneak attack, they would not be a match for him if they joined forces. Let's go. Knowing that they were no match for old Devil Huang Feng, Peng Ri and the others immediately turned around and ran for their lives. While Peng Ri and the others were running for their lives, they were extremely depressed. They felt like they were going to vomit blood. Mo Qingyan was too cunning. He clearly had a powerful helper, but he acted as if he was waiting for death. He was obviously trying to kill them. Although Mo Qingyun's cultivation level was not high, his strength was comparable to a boundary sage. He could not act like a powerhouse. Old Devil Huang Feng's face turned cold when he saw Peng Ri and the others trying to escape. He was ready to chase after them. There's no need to chase after them. Let them be. Seeing Old Devil Huang Feng's actions, Mo Qingyun shook his head and stopped him from chasing after them. The Xuanwu secret realm was filled with danger. With Old Devil Huang Feng's cultivation level, it was not a wise move to chase after them. In the Xuanwu secret realm, there were many boundary sage realm mermaid souls. If Old Devil Huang Feng encountered them, it would be difficult for him to escape. After all, he was only at the 8th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. He had yet to recover to the boundary sage realm. Yes, Old Devil Huang Feng immediately responded and returned to Mo Qingyun's side when he heard Mo Qingyun's order. When Old Devil Huang Feng returned to his side, Mo Qingyun's expression relaxed. He once again immersed himself in his cultivation. Peng Ri and the others have escaped. It's no longer safe to cultivate here. It seems like I have to find another place. Mo Qingyun's heart was as clear as a mirror. He quickly saw through the situation and thought of what to do next. I'll stabilize my current injuries first. It won't be too late for me to continue recuperating after I find another place to hide. Before long, Mo Qingyun opened his eyes and exited from his cultivation. I'll send you to the Fortune mainland. After Mo Qingyun exited from his cultivation, he instructed Old Devil Huang Feng and sent him to the Fortune mainland. After sending Old Devil Huang Feng away, Mo Qingyun did not stay any longer and immediately walked out of the cave. Concealed door. In order to prevent unnecessary trouble, Mo Qingyun activated the concealed door the moment he came out of the cave. After concealing himself, Mo Qingyun began to look for a new place to continue cultivating and recuperating from his injuries. Several hours later, Mo Qingyun found an ancient stone room. It should have been a cave in the past. It had been abandoned for a long time. This place is desolate. No one should come here. After looking around, Mo Qingyun did not think too much about it and immediately sat down cross-legged to recuperate. To prevent anyone from disturbing him and making him passive, Mo Qingyun summoned Old Devil Huang Feng. Everything was ready. Mo Qingyun did not think too much about it and immersed himself in recuperating. While Mo Qingyun was recuperating, Peng Ri and the others ran into the Anti-Immortal Alliance's people. However, they were not all of the Anti-Immortal Alliance's people. Some of them were scattered. Big Brother Feng Chun, it's great to meet you. Seeing Feng Chun and the others, Peng Ri's face immediately lit up with joy. He excitedly went up to them and said, We've found Mo Qingyun. His injuries are extremely heavy right now. This is the best chance to deal with him. Chapter 1991. They had found Mo Qingyun. This was good news. Mo Qingyun was heavily injured now, and it was the best opportunity to deal with him. If they missed it, they wouldn't have another chance. Where did you meet him? Feng Chun was excited as he walked quickly to Peng Ri and asked about Mo Qingyun's whereabouts. Since he was defeated by Mo Qingyun, he had been holding back his anger and was thinking about when he could avenge himself. Now is obviously the best time. He wanted to return what Mo Qingyun had done to him, double, triple, 10 times to Mo Qingyun. In a cave not far away. When we met him, he was recuperating and couldn't move. As he recalled the situation from that day, Peng Ri described it in detail, and his expression became slightly heavy as he said, but there's an expert at the 8th level of the 9 heavens mysterious immortal realm by Mo Qingyun's side, and it isn't easy to deal with him. He's only at the 8th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. He can't stop us. Feng Chun revealed a disdainful expression. He was very confident in his own strength and didn't take old Ghost Huang Feng seriously at all. Peng Ri frowned when he saw Feng Chen's expression, and he still had a serious expression. He hurriedly said, Big Brother Feng Chun, That expert at the 8th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm by Mo Qingyun's side isn't as simple as you think. That person has a very powerful saint aura. He might be a saint realm expert who has recultivated. A saint realm expert who has recultivated? Feng Chan was slightly stunned, and his expression tensed up. This was a little troublesome. He didn't take an ordinary expert at the 8th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm seriously, but a saint realm expert who had recultivated was different. The control of a saint realm expert wasn't something a 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm expert could compare to. Even if their cultivation had fallen, they still couldn't be underestimated. So what if he's a saint realm expert? A mere 8th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm can't stop us. Feng Chun pondered for a moment, and his expression became gloomy. His eyes flashed with a cold light. I don't believe that with so many of us working together, we can't kill Mo Qingyun. That's right. If we work together, Mo Qingyun won't be able to escape. Hearing Feng Chen's words, the expressions of Peng Ri and the others changed, and they all agreed. After conversing with Peng Ri and the others for a while, Feng Chun did not want to waste any more time and said in a low voice, Mo Qingyun is currently heavily injured. He will definitely try to recover as soon as possible. We cannot give him any time to recover. We must deal with him immediately. Peng Ri and the others nodded, feeling that Feng Chen's words made sense. Ri, lead the way immediately. Take us to Mo Qingyun. Under Feng Chen's orders, Peng Ri immediately led everyone to the cave to find Mo Qingyun. While Peng Ri and the others were looking for Mo Qingyun cast aside all distracting thoughts and focused on recovering from his injuries. In an old stone room, after 3 days of cultivation, Mo Qingyun's injuries were obviously better, and he had already recovered by almost 50%. Although Mo Qingyun hadn't fully recovered from his injuries, he was still able to fight with others. I'll cultivate for a few more days and recover by 70%. Then, I'll go look for Xuanwu's blood. Mo Qingyun sensed his condition, and without hesitation, he once again immersed himself in cultivation. While Mo Qingyun was cultivating, an excited voice was transmitted into his mind. Master, I've finished my closed-door cultivation. My cultivation has broken through to the quasi-saint realm. Quasi-saint realm. Hearing the rumors about the 7-headed azure flood dragon, Mo Qingyun's face lit up with joy, and his mood relaxed. With the 7-headed azure flood dragon's cultivation, it's hard to find a worthy opponent in this black warrior secret realm. Very good. Stabilize your cultivation first. I may need your help later. After instructing the 7-headed green serpent, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and once again immersed himself in cultivation. However, Mo Qingyun didn't cultivate for long before an impatient voice was transmitted into his ears. Mo Qingyun, that coward. I don't know where he ran off to. Don't worry. He's so badly injured. He can't have run too far. I have a feeling that Mo Qingyun should be hiding nearby. We'll find him soon. Search carefully and see if there are any secret rooms or cavern residences. Brother Fengshan, look over there. There's a stone room. Could Mo Qingyun be hiding in there? Let's go and take a look. The footsteps were getting closer and closer, and the figures slowly entered Mo Qingyun's line of sight. Through the entrance of the stone room, Mo Qingyun saw the approaching figures and couldn't help smiling faintly. These fellows are quite fast. They actually managed to find me again in such a short time. Well, since they found me, I'll go and meet them. Mo Qingyun thought for a moment and stopped cultivating. He stood up and walked out of the secret room. Now that his injuries had mostly recovered, he didn't have to worry about anything. Soon, Mo Qingyun walked out of the stone room and appeared in front of Feng Chun and the others. Mo Qingyun, he was really here. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk out of the stone room, Peng Ri and the others were shocked. They couldn't recover for a long time. They really didn't expect that Mo Qingyun was really hiding here. Mo Qingyun, I didn't expect you to be hiding here. Let's see where you'll run this time. Mo Qingyun, Why are you in such a hurry? Are you trying to escape again? Oof. Don't think that we can't do anything to you just because you have an 8th layer Xian immortal stage subordinate. When Fengshen's followers saw Mo Qingyun, they immediately became arrogant and started to shout at Mo Qingyun. While his lackeys were making a fuss, the corners of Feng Chen's mouth curled up slightly, a pleased expression on his face as he said, Mo Qingyun, after I was defeated by you in the Greenscale Mountain Palace, I swore that I would definitely kill you with my bare hands. Looks like the heavens are treating me well, giving me such a chance so quickly. When Feng Chen's words fell, Peng Ri and the others immediately cheered. Sweeping a glance at Feng Chen and the others, the corners of Mo Qingyun's mouth curled up slightly. He shook his head indifferently and said, Haha, I don't think so. In my opinion, your fate is really too sad. You actually became the first batch of people I want to kill. The expressions of Peng Ri and the others turned cold. Anger immediately surged out from their eyes, and they seemed ready to fight. Mo Qingyun, the reason you have such confidence is probably because of him. When he heard Mo Qingyun's words, Feng Chen glanced at old Devil Huang Feng. He placed his hands behind his back and said, although a Saint Stage expert's strength is extremely terrifying when compared to those of the same level, it's not so easy to fight those of a higher level. Not to mention, we have so many people on our side. Who told you that he was the one who attacked? When he heard Feng Chen's words, Mo Qingyun knew that he was wrong, and he couldn't help but laugh. Since the 7-headed green serpent had finished its seclusion, it naturally had to make a move. It couldn't let Feng Chen and the others escape. Chapter 1992. Roar. The roar of a beast suddenly entered everyone's ears, causing their faces to change color. While Feng Chen and the others were still in shock, a gigantic figure entered their line of sight. It was a 7-headed serpent that gave off a powerful sage aura. Quasi-Saint Stage demonic beast. Sensing the 7-headed serpent's aura, Feng Chen and the others' faces changed as their bodies trembled. Demonic beasts had stronger bodies than humans, and in the same cultivation realm, they were stronger than humans. The demonic beast in front of them was no ordinary demonic beast, and its strength was not something that could be judged by common sense. Therefore, although this demonic beast was only in the quasi-saint stage, its true battle strength was comparable to a saint stage expert. With their strength, they would not be able to resist at all in front of a saint stage expert. They were done for. How? How could this be? Seeing this scene, Peng Ri's eyes widened as his mind went blank. He would never have thought that there would be a quasi-saint stage demonic beast by Mo Qingyun's side. If he had known this, he would not have dared to do this, even if he had 10 times the courage. Peng Ri, thinking about their situation, Feng Chen's face darkened as he glared at Peng Ri. This guy was too much of a scammer. Mo Qingyun had such a powerful existence by his side, but he still wanted to take revenge on Mo Qingyun. Wasn't this the same as sending everyone to their deaths? Brother Feng Chen, I don't know what's going on either. Under Feng Chen's furious gaze, Peng Ri's expression turned bitter as he did not know how to explain. Looking at Peng Ri and the others, Mo Qingyun's lips curled up as he said with a mocking expression, "You can talk about this later. Old Huang Feng, 7-headed serpent, attack." Looking at Peng Ri and the others, Mo Qingyun waved his hand as he did not want to waste any more time. He needed to recover from his injuries as soon as possible, and he did not have much time to waste with Feng Chen and the others. Yes, receiving Mo Qingyun's order, the 7-headed serpent and old Huang Feng sneered as they charged towards Feng Chen and the others. The 7-headed serpent sneered. "I just came out of seclusion. How wonderful. A bunch of reckless fools. Even if my master is injured, he's not someone you can offend. Die." Following the 7-headed azure serpent's words, old Ghost Huang Feng sneered and emitted a gloomy chilliness. "Run, run." Seeing Feng Chen and the 7-headed green Jiao dragon charging over, Feng Chen and the others' expressions changed, and they didn't dare to face the seven-headed green Jiao dragon head-on. However, the speed at which Peng Ri and the others fled was simply incomparable to the seven-headed green flood dragon and the seven-headed green flood dragon. Soon, they were blocked off. Roar! Feng and old Huang Feng, Feng's is the serpent, and the serpent Huang's Huang Feng. Facing the seven-headed green flood dragon's bite, Peng Ri and the others were like clay chickens and pottery dogs. A few of them were immediately swallowed up. Brother! Feng! Seeing the serpent's strength, Peng Ri's face paled as he begged Feng Chun for help. Feng Chun was like a clay Buddha crossing a river, and he could not help Peng Ri and the others. He could only run for his life. Peng Ri had screwed him over, and he would be lucky if he did not chop Peng Ri into pieces. Why would he take the risk to save him? Serpent Dragon flipping the sun. One of the seven-headed green serpent's heads roared to the sky and spat out a gust of saint power. The moment the saint energy appeared, it turned into a silver serpent shadow and charged towards Feng Chun. Bang! Feng Chun could not defend himself against the serpent's attack, and he was sent flying. Feng Chun flew a few hundred meters before finally landing on the ground, rolling a few times on the ground. The commotion caused by Feng Chun attracted the attention of a group of merfolk souls, and they flew towards him. Merfolk souls. Seeing the mermaid's soul approaching, Feng Chun's face immediately paled and became ashen. He was surrounded by a hungry wolf and a ferocious tiger. There was no way he could escape. What surprised Feng Chun was that when the merfolk souls approached him, they split up and charged towards Mo Qingyun and the others. Feng Chun was overjoyed when he saw this, and a desire to live appeared in his heart. If all the merfolk souls attacked him, he would not have any chance of survival. But now that they had split up, the situation was different. Perhaps there was still a chance of survival. Merfolk souls. Mo Qingyun frowned when he saw the gray merfolk approaching. He said with a heavy heart, "Hurry up and end the battle. Don't get entangled with the merfolk souls." This group of mermaid souls was very powerful. There were 3 of them in the Sage-to-Be realm. The serpent had just broken through to the quasi-saint realm, and it was difficult for it to face 3 quasi-saint merfolk souls. More importantly, if they fought, they might attract even more merfolk souls. Mo Qingyun did not want to see such a situation. Yes, the serpent and yellow wind responded when they heard Mo Qingyun's words. Their attacks immediately became fierce. Peng Ri and the others were at a disadvantage when the serpent and yellow wind increased their attacks. They were about to be slaughtered. No! Peng Ri screamed when he saw the serpent's mouth coming towards him. He begged Mo, "Mr. Mo, I failed to recognize Mount Tai. Please spare my life. I promise I won't offend you again. I'll run away from wherever you go." Peng Ri was really scared. He realized that death was so close to him. "It's too late." Mo Qingyun replied coldly to Peng Ri's pleas. He did not show any emotion. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, this kind of person would never change. He would never have the heart to change. Mo Qingyun knew very well that if it were not for the serpent, he and Yellow Wind would not be in a good situation. With Peng Ri and Feng Chen's personalities, they definitely wouldn't spare him and give him a chance to ask for peace. Anyway, his relationship with the Anti-Immortal Alliance was already irreconcilable. There was no need for him to show them any mercy. Crack! There was the crisp sound of bones cracking. Peng Ri was swallowed by the serpent and let out a final cry. The battle ended when Peng Ri was killed. Let's go. After dealing with Peng Ri and the others, Mo Qingyun did not want to stay any longer. He immediately signaled to the serpent and Yellow Wind. As for Feng Chun, Mo Qingyun did not pay any attention to him, leaving him to fend for himself. Feng Chun was severely injured and surrounded by the merfolk souls. He was most likely going to die. After receiving Mo Qingyun's signal, the serpent and Yellow Wind did not dare to fight. They immediately followed Mo Qingyun and fled to the east. As Mo Qingyun fled, he released his soul power to sense the situation ahead. Chapter 1993. Not long after, Imo Qingyun stopped moving forward and looked into the distance with a tense expression. Not far ahead, a large number of merfolk souls had gathered. It was impossible to force their way through. Master, you haven't recovered from your injuries. You can't fight for a long time. Let's think of another way. Looking at the large group of merfolk souls, Old Yellow Wind persuaded Imo Qingyun. He didn't want Imo Qingyun to take the risk and charge forward. There were 5 quasi-sage realm merfolk souls in front of them. If they fought them head-on, they would be at a disadvantage. If Imo Qingyun was in peak condition, they could still fight him. But now, it was absolutely impossible. Hearing Old Yellow Wind's words, Imo Qingyun nodded and gave up on fighting the merfolk souls. He said, "Seven-headed green flood dragon, Old Yellow Wind, I'll send you to the Fortune mainland. I'll use the concealment door to sneak over." After figuring out the difference in strength between the two sides, Imo Qingyun naturally wouldn't take the risk and chose the safest method. Hearing Imo Qingyun's words, Old Yellow Wind and Seven-Headed Green Flood Dragon relaxed and allowed Imo Qingyun to send them to the Fortune mainland. Concealment door. After sending Old Yellow Wind and Seven-Headed Green Flood Dragon away, Imo Qingyun used the concealment door and his figure gradually disappeared. After Imo Qingyun's figure disappeared, Imo Qingyun didn't stay any longer and slowly flew in the direction of the merfolk souls. Not long after, Imo Qingyun passed through the group of merfolk souls without any danger. After passing through the large group of merfolk souls, Imo Qingyun flew for a distance. Then, the sound of an intense battle entered his ears. There are fighting sounds. I wonder which of the 4 forces it is. Hearing the intense battle sounds, Imo Qingyun's eyes immediately lit up. He was curious. While Imo Qingyun was feeling curious, he came up with a plan in his mind. There were many quasi-sage realm experts among the troops sent by the 4 forces. They weren't easy to deal with. If he could use this opportunity to eliminate one of the forces, it would be best. Even if he couldn't get rid of him, being able to weaken their combat strength was also a good thing. Thinking of this, Imo Qingyun did not waste any more time and flew in the direction of the fighting. Not long after, Imo Qingyun saw the scene of a battle and knew which force was fighting. The situation was slightly different from what he had guessed. It was not one of the 4 factions fighting against the merfolk souls. Instead, the Madman League and the Anti-Immortal Alliance were engaged in a life-and-death struggle. To be exact, it was the Madman League that was encircling the Anti-Immortal Alliance, forcing the Anti-Immortal Alliance into a perilous situation. It could not be helped. The people of the Anti-Immortal Alliance were unlucky. As soon as they entered the Xuanwu mystic realm, they encountered a large group of merfolk souls. Under the impact of Xuanwu's secret realm, they were all scattered, and their combat power was not concentrated. Dogs biting each other. Interesting. Imo Qingyun's lips curled up as he watched the 2 sides fighting each other. A mocking expression appeared on his face. This situation could not be better for him. No matter which side was destroyed, it was extremely good news for him. If both sides were injured, it would be even more perfect. At this moment, while Imo Qingyun was watching, another group of people arrived. It was a group of people from the Celestial Slaying Hall. The arrival of the people from the Celestial Slaying Hall immediately attracted the attention of the Madman League and the Anti-Immortal Alliance, causing both sides to be vigilant. How lively! Shinchili looked at the situation and showed an expression of watching a good show. He brought his people to watch from the side. Looking at his posture, it seemed that he was going to watch the snipe and the clam fight, and he would be the fisherman who benefits in the end. Seeing the actions of the people from the Celestial Slaying Hall, the people from the Madman League and the Anti-Immortal Alliance became more worried. If they continued to fight, it would only benefit the Celestial Slaying Hall, which was absolutely impossible. Brother Shintu, the people from the Anti-Immortal Alliance are very treacherous. We must not let them escape. Looking at Shinchili, Situ Chung showed a nervous expression. He encouraged Shinchili and said, "In addition, there are people from the Dark Demon clan hiding in the dark. You and I can only compete with them if we join forces. Hearing Situ Cheng's words, Shinchili showed a thoughtful expression, considering whether to agree or not. While Shinchili was thinking, Fong Nuxi's pretty face tensed up, and her heart was hanging in the air. The strength of their side was already weaker than the people from the Madman League. If the Celestial Slaying Hall joined in, the disparity would be even greater. In this case, their chances of winning would be even lower, and they would only be reduced to the point of being slaughtered. Brother Situ, your suggestion is good. Eliminating the people from the Anti-Mortal Alliance will save us a lot of trouble. Shinchili hesitated for a moment, and then accepted Situ Cheng's suggestion to eliminate the Anti-Immortal Alliance first. After eliminating the people from the Anti-Mortal Alliance, we only need to focus on dealing with the Dark Demon Clan, and take care of Mo Qingyun at the same time. This is indeed the best choice. In that case, we will have a pleasant cooperation. Seeing Shinchili agree, Situ Cheng's expression immediately became happy. A cold smile appeared on his face. Nuxi, I really can't bear to kill such a beautiful woman like you. What a pity. Situ Cheng sighed. He did not waste any more time and led the people from the Madman League to attack. While the people from the Madman League were attacking, the people from the Celestial Slaying Hall were not idle either. They immediately joined the battle. Under the joint attack of the Celestial Slaying Hall and the Madman League, the Anti-Immortal Alliance was immediately beaten up. In the blink of an eye, several people were seriously injured. From the looks of it, the Anti-Immortal Alliance is no match for them at all. They can only be slaughtered by both sides. Looking at the situation in front of him, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly, and a new idea came to his mind. Fong Nuxi is Fong Qinglin's sister. Fong Qinglin was killed by the people from the Madman League, so Fong Nuxi will definitely not let it go. If I help Fong Nuxi and let them restrain the Madman League and the Celestial Slaying Hall, it seems like a good idea. Mo Qingyun analyzed the situation, and his heart became clear. He knew what to do. Of course, Mo Qingyun did not want to save the people from the Anti-Immortal Alliance. He just wanted to make the situation more chaotic. Got it, Mo Qingyun thought. He immediately came up with a plan. He immediately searched for the surrounding mermaid souls. Soon, Mo Qingyun found a group of mermaid souls and attracted their attention. When the mermaid souls discovered Mo Qingyun, they chased after Mo Qingyun as if they had gone mad. Shadow Dragon Transformation. Looking at the mermaid souls behind him, Mo Qingyun immediately used the Shadow Dragon Transformation to increase his movement speed. In the form of the Shadow Dragon, Mo Qingyun's flying speed immediately reached the limit, ensuring his safety. Soon, under Mo Qingyun's guidance, the mermaid souls arrived at the place where the three parties were fighting. Mo Qingyun's appearance immediately attracted the attention of the three parties, and they were all shocked. When they saw that familiar and hateful face at the front of the mermaid's soul, their faces darkened. Chapter 1994. Mo Qingyun. That's Mo Qingyun. F asterisk CK. Why is it him? Why is he here? F asterisk CK. This guy lured so many merfolk souls over. Is he trying to ascend to the heavens? He lured so many merfolk souls over so that the merfolk souls can deal with them. This guy is too sinister. Run quickly. Don't let the merfolk souls catch up with you. After a brief moment of shock, everyone understood Mo Qingyun's intentions. They were instantly depressed. At that moment, it was as if there were 10,000 curses running in their hearts. Mo Qingyun was too much of a scammer. He was simply trying to scam them to death. What a coincidence. You're all here. Mo Qingyun casually greeted the gloomy crowd as if he had met an old friend. He said, "It's great to see all of you. I've run into some trouble, so I hope that everyone can lend me a hand." Hearing Mo Qingyun's request for help, Situ Cheng and the rest's faces darkened. They revealed looks of disdain. "We don't want to help you. Are we close to Mo Qingyun?" "No, not at all. Please go away." Although they were furious, Situ Cheng and the rest did not dare to hesitate. They immediately fled from the merfolk's souls. At that moment, they could not be bothered to be angry. To them, escaping from the merfolk souls was the key. Hey, why are you running? If you don't want to help, then don't help. At most, we'll escape together. Looking at Sidu Chung and the rest who turned to flee, Mo Qingyun's smile did not change. He immediately chased after them. Soon, Mo Qingyun charged into the crowd and blended in with them. Mo Qingyun charged into the crowd. Everyone covered him so that the merfolk souls could not lock onto him. Then, the merfolk souls no longer chased after Mo Qingyun. They began to attack the others. Mo Qingyun, you shameless bastard. If you have the ability, fight us head on. What's the point of playing tricks? Fight my ass. He's lured over so many merfolk souls. Whoever he follows will be in big trouble. How are we supposed to fight? Yes, let him go. Let him go far away. Mo Qingyun, go away. Go far away. F*CK, Mo Qingyun, no. Grandpa Mo, please don't follow me. I'm scared of you. Go and find the people from the Immortal Slaying Hall. They were the ones who wanted to challenge you. Quickly go and find them. When they realized that Mo Qingyun was following them, Situ Chung and the others started crying. Not a single bit of their temper was left. This time, they were truly terrified. If Mo Qingyun continued to follow them, they might be completely annihilated. It was better to let the Immortal Slaying Hall take the blame. As the people from the Immortal Slaying Hall and the Madman League fled, the pressure on Fong Nuxi and the others was greatly reduced. They felt like they had survived a disaster. If not for Mo Qingyun's sudden appearance, they would not have been able to escape today. Although their current situation was not very optimistic, it was much better than before. Let's go. Fong Nuxi looked at Mo Qingyun with a complicated gaze. He then led the people from the Anti-Mortal Alliance to retreat. Hearing Fong Nuxi's words, the people from the Anti-Mortal Alliance did not want to fight. They immediately retreated with Fong Nuxi. When the people from the Anti-Mortal Alliance fled, Mo Qingyun stopped. He did not continue to follow the people from the Madman League. He realized that the number of merfolk souls chasing after the Immortal Slaying Hall was far less than those chasing after the Madman League and the Anti-Mortal Alliance. If that was the case, the Immortal Slaying Hall might not suffer too many casualties under the pursuit of the merfolk souls. This was not the result he wanted to see. No, I have to create some trouble for them. With that thought in mind, Mo Qingyun's figure flashed and flew toward the people from the Immortal Slaying Hall. Seeing Mo Qingyun flying toward them, the faces of Shinchili and the others immediately turned ashen. Why was this guy chasing after them? Yes, it was instigated by the Mad Immortal Union. They were the ones who instigated Mo Qingyun. The Madman League was too shameless. In order to get rid of Mo Qingyun, this wretch of bad luck, they actually made them take the blame. While Shinchili and the others were secretly furious, Mo Qingyun led a small group of merfolk souls and flew toward them. Then, the number of merfolk souls chasing after the three forces suddenly became much more balanced. Mo Qingyun, please go away. We won't challenge you anymore. Seeing Mo Qingyun flying toward him, Shinchili's expression immediately trembled and a chill ran down his spine. In their current situation, they did not have the strength to deal with Mo Qingyun. At the same time, he could not help but think of the time when Zi Ling and the others besieged Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun severely injured Zi Ling. His cultivation was not as good as Zi Ling's. If Mo Qingyun came to deal with him, he would probably end up worse. Mo Qingyun did not care about Shinchili's words at all and responded with a faint smile. Don't worry. Now that the Madman League and the Anti-Mortal Alliance are being chased by the merfolk souls, they have no chance to interfere with us. We can fight without worry. Relax my ass, who wants to fight you? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shinchili was so angry that he cried and wished he could spit out a mouthful of old blood. While Shinchili was distracted, a merfolk soul at the 9th level of the 9 Heavens Xian Immortal Realm almost hit him with a palm strike. Seeing such a scene, Shinchili was so scared that his face immediately turned pale. He was even more afraid of Mo Qingyun in his heart. If this continued, Mo Qingyun did not have to deal with him, and he might be killed by the merfolk soul. Thinking of the situation just now, Shinchili did not dare to be distracted anymore and ignored Mo Qingyun. Shinchili originally thought that if he did not speak to Mo Qingyun would retreat. Who knew that when Mo Qingyun saw that he did not speak, he grinned at him and said, "If you don't speak, I'll take it that you agree to accept my challenge." Shinchili was dumbfounded. His current feelings could no longer be described with words. Mo Qingyun, this fellow, was truly too shameless and unreasonable. Demon Star splitting palm. Mo Qingyun did not care about Shinchili's feelings. After he spoke, he took the initiative to attack Shinchili. Mo Qingyun waved his right hand, and immortal spiritual energy immediately gathered on his right palm and spread from his palm to his entire body. Soon, a huge demon god shadow formed outside his body. After the demon god shadow was formed, it blasted towards Shinchili with a palm strike that emitted a terrifying demonic aura. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attack, Shinchili's expression immediately twitched and his face turned pale. 1,000-image vanishing slash. Although Shinchili was infuriated, he did not dare to be careless and immediately counterattacked with his long sword. Shinchili's long sword immediately gathered a large amount of immortal spiritual energy and condensed into a mysterious sword ray. This sword ray seemed to contain all the phenomena in the world, and no one dared to underestimate it. Boom! The sword ray slashed out and collided with a huge palm, creating a loud sound that shook the sky. Following that, a terrifying energy storm formed in midair. Due to the battle between Mo Qingyun and Mo Qingyun, it immediately attracted the attention of a large number of mermaid souls, and they quickly flew towards them. Seeing the mermaid souls approaching, Mo Qingyun did not continue fighting and said in a low voice, "You're right. It's not easy to fight today. I'll go first and fight another day." Chapter 1995. When Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he turned into an afterimage and disappeared from Shinchili's sight in a blink of an eye. His injuries had yet to recover and could not engage in a prolonged battle. Otherwise, it would affect the injuries in his body. As his injuries had yet to recover, he was also unable to use his full strength. He could only unleash close to 50% of his strength. Under the situation of using 50% of his strength, it was clearly very difficult for Mo Qingyun to kill Shinchili. Since he could not kill Shinchili, there was no point for Mo Qingyun to continue staying. More importantly, the time he could maintain the Shadow Dragon state was also about to reach his limit. Once the Shadow Dragon state ended, he would not be able to maintain his speed advantage and would put himself in danger. Therefore, his choice to leave now was the wisest decision. In addition, Shinchili and the rest were entangled by the merfolk souls. Even if they could ensure that they were not completely wiped out, they would still lose a layer of skin. This way, his goal would also be achieved. There was no need to put himself in danger. Seeing Mo Qingyun fly away, Shinchili's face immediately darkened, feeling even more depressed in his heart. Mo Qingyun left lightly, disappearing in a blink of an eye. But their immortal slaying hall's people were in a miserable situation. They were already surrounded by the merfolk souls. Looking at the situation before them, if they wanted to kill their way out of the heavy encirclement, they would have to expend at least a small portion of their combat strength. This would cause them to be very cautious in what they were going to do next. Of course, these things were not within the scope of Mo Qingyun's consideration. After Mo Qingyun left, he found a secluded place and immersed himself in healing his injuries again. In order to ensure that he would not be disturbed by the outside world during the healing period, Mo Qingyun summoned the seven-headed green flood dragon and Old Yellow Wind. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that his recovery was very peaceful this time. He wasn't disturbed in the slightest. Without the outside world's interference, Mo Qingyun cultivated for 7 days in a row, only stopping when his injuries were healed. Not only that, but after Mo Qingyun's injuries had healed, his cultivation had also improved a little. Although there was still a long way to go before reaching the Dao nurturing stage, he had already reached the peak of the mid-stage of the pregnant Dao stage. Judging from my current cultivation speed, it will take me at most 2 months to break through to the Dao nourishing realm. Sensing his own condition, Mo Qingyun stood up and looked into the depths of Xuanwu's secret territory. Since my injuries have healed, it's time to look for Xuanwu's blood. I hope everything is not too late, and Zi Ling and the others won't be able to beat us to it. Let's go. Mo Qingyun murmured to himself. He spoke to the seven-headed azure serpent and Huang Feng before flying into the depths of the Xuanwu secret realm. Seeing Mo Qingyun flying ahead, the seven-headed azure serpent and Huang Feng hurriedly followed and went deeper into the Xuanwu secret realm. As Mo Qingyun and the other two flew, some mermaid skeletons riding on Xuanwu skeletons appeared in their line of sight. These mermaid skeletons were all holding skeletal staffs and exuding a terrifying aura. Although their cultivation was not particularly high, they were only on the same level as the mermaid souls from before. However, the pressure they exuded could not be generalized. It was on a completely different level. In addition, they were riding on Xuanwu skeletons, which made them even more terrifying. These mermaid skeletons are so strong. In the same realm, their strength is probably comparable to several mermaid souls. Mo Qingyun sized up the mermaid skeletons. He immediately had a clear understanding of the mermaid skeleton strength. After estimating the strength of the mermaid skeletons, Mo Qingyun immediately became vigilant and prepared to find some mermaid skeletons to test it out. In a short while, a small group of 5 mermaid skeletons became Mo Qingyun's target. The strength of this group of mermaid skeletons was not particularly strong. There is only one mermaid skeleton at the 9th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Go! Mo Qingyun shouted coldly and took the lead to charge towards the mermaid skeleton at the 9th level of the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm. Seeing Mo Qingyun take the initiative to attack, the seven-headed azure serpent and Huang Feng followed closely and charged towards the other mermaid skeletons. A chaotic battle immediately took place. They were locked in battle and caused a huge commotion. After fighting with the mermaid skeletons for a while, Mo Qingyun had a rough understanding of the mermaid skeleton strength. He sighed, as expected of the mermaid race. They do have a unique advantage in the use of the power of water. Even if it's just a strand of remnant consciousness, it's not something that other races can compare to. Demonic Star, Splitting Palm. Mo Qingyun swung his palm. The demon god shadow outside his body swung his huge palm towards the mermaid skeleton. When the demon god shadow's huge palm struck out, the space immediately trembled as if it was going to be shattered by this palm. Everlasting Ice Seal. Facing the demon god shadow's palm, the mermaid skeleton quickly swung the scepter in its hand forward. Immediately, the scepter in its hand bloomed with a gray luster and a terrifying chill erupted. Soon, pieces of crystalline ice spread out from the skeleton's scepter. In a short while, a crystalline ice barrier formed in front of the mermaid skeleton. When the ice barrier formed, the demon god shadow's huge palm struck it, but it passed through the ice barrier. What a strange attack! Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He was very surprised by this situation. The divine power used by the mermaid skeleton seems to be able to connect the ice barrier to another space and transfer the attack to another space. After discovering the uniqueness of the divine power used by the mermaid skeleton, Mo Qingyun immediately began to think of a way to neutralize its divine power. 99 Heavenly Demon, God-slaying, sword formation. Seeing that the divine power was ineffective, he raised his hand and summoned 16 ancient swords. Since the divine power was ineffective, he would use the most primitive method, which was to use weapons to attack directly. The 16 ancient swords Mo Qingyun summoned out formed a sword formation and slashed towards the ice barrier. The ancient swords struck the ice barrier. To Mo Qingyun's surprise, the ancient swords were not transferred to another space. If that was the case, then his guess was correct. Clang, clang, clang. A series of crisp sounds came from the ice barrier, producing a violent fluctuation of spiritual energy. At the same time, tiny cracks began to appear on the ice barrier. From the current situation, the weakness of the mermaid skeleton's divine power should be that it cannot withstand the attack of weapons. After finding the weakness of the mermaid skeleton's divine power, Qingyun smiled faintly. Since I've seen through your trump card, the battle is about to end. Qingyun quickly formed hand seals with both hands, controlling the ancient swords to form a sword chain, and once again smashed towards the ice barrier. Under Qingyun's control, the ancient swords accurately struck a point on the ice barrier one after another. Clang! Facing the repeated attacks of the ancient swords, the ice barrier finally could not withstand the pressure and was forcefully shattered by the ancient swords. Seeing that the ice barrier was shattered, Qingyun's face lit up with joy and a brilliant smile appeared on his face. Chapter 1996. After the ancient sword shattered the ice barrier, its attack power did not decrease as it continued to attack the mermaid skeleton. The ancient sword was too fast. Before the mermaid skeleton could react, it had already slammed into its body. Crack, crack, crack. Under the attack of the ancient sword, cracks immediately appeared on the mermaid skeleton. In the blink of an eye, the mermaid skeleton fell apart and turned into a pile of broken bones. Qingyun's battle had ended. The seven-headed green serpent's battle was also nearing its end. The three mermaid skeletons that were fighting the seven-headed green serpent were all bitten to pieces and turned into piles of bone fragments. On the other hand, Old Yellow Wind's situation was not very optimistic. He was suppressed by the mermaid skeleton. Old Yellow Wind did not have a powerful weapon and was at a great disadvantage when fighting against the mermaid soul. Kill. After discovering Old Yellow Wind's situation, Qingyun nodded at the seven-headed green serpent, indicating that he would help Old Yellow Wind. Under Qingyun's control, the 16 ancient swords immediately formed a sword dragon and attacked the mermaid skeleton. When Qingyun attacked, the seven-headed green serpent followed closely and opened its mouth to bite another mermaid skeleton. Crack, crack, crack. Faced with Qingyun's attack, the two mermaid skeletons fighting Old Yellow Wind were immediately smashed to pieces. Seeing Qingyun's help, Old Yellow Wind showed an ashamed expression and said, "Your subordinate is useless and has become a burden to master." "It's fine. Don't blame yourself too much." Qingyun waved his hand. He was not displeased at all. He comforted Old Huang Feng. "It's not your fault. Because you don't have a powerful weapon, it's very normal that you were restrained by the merfolk skeleton's ability when you clashed with it." Old Yellow Wind's eyes lit up when he heard that. A look of anticipation appeared on his face. From Qingyun's words, it seemed that he was going to give him a powerful weapon to increase his combat power. Under Old Yellow Wind's expectant gaze, Qingyun took out several weapons and said, "I've obtained several decent saint artifacts from the treasury of the Anti-Mortal Alliance. The two of you can take a look." Qingyun took out a few saint artifacts. They were a spear, a pair of axes, a saber, and a pair of parting hooks. "Master, this pair of radiant sun and moon parting hooks are very suitable for your subordinate." Old Devil Huang Feng's eyes immediately lit up at the sight of the pair of parting hooks, and an expression of fondness appeared on his face. Qingyun picked up the separation hook and passed it to Huang Feng. He said, "Since you've taken a fancy to the separation hook, I'll give it to you. Refine it as soon as possible. I'll need it to help you in battle later." "Yes." Old Yellow Wind's face lit up when he heard Qingyun's words. He took the parting hooks and started refining them. When Huang Feng chose the separation hook, the seven-headed green serpent looked at the pair of battle axes and said, "Master, this pair of Azura Ghost Shadow axes is very suitable for this subordinate. If I refine the Azura Ghost Shadow axes, even if I encounter a Saint Stage expert, I have a 50% chance of killing him." In that case, I'll give this pair of axes to you. Refine them as fast as you can. Seeing that the seven-headed green flood dragon had chosen the axes, Mo Qingyun picked up the Azura Ghost Shadow axes and handed them over to the seven-headed green flood dragon. After the two of them had chosen their weapons, Mo Qingyun kept the remaining saint artifacts on the Fortune mainland. In order to save time on the road, Mo Qingyun sent the seven-headed green flood dragon and seven-headed green flood dragon to the Fortune mainland so that they could refine their weapons. Everything is settled. It's time to continue our journey. After bestowing the seven-headed green flood dragon and seven-headed green flood dragon's weapons, Mo Qingyun did not delay any further, preparing to enter the Xuanwu secret realm alone. Just as Mo Qingyun was about to move, a pleasantly surprised voice sounded in his mind. Master, I sense the merfolk's aura. Have you entered the merfolk ancestral tomb? This was the King Devourer's voice transmission. Hearing the King Devourer's voice transmission, Mo Qingyun's expression changed, revealing a pleasantly surprised expression as he thought to himself. I forgot about the King Devourer. She is the merfolk tribe's ruler. She should have a way to deal with the merfolk skeletons. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun summoned the King Devourer to assist him in battle. The moment the King Devourer was summoned, she revealed a pleasantly surprised expression and quickly looked around. This is... The King Devourer swung her fishtail and flew around in a circle, exclaiming in surprise, This is the shaman ancestor's dwelling. So the shaman ancestor left the tribe back then and had been hiding near the tribe all this time. No wonder the tribe members went missing one after another. At this moment, the King Devourer seemed to have a clear answer to a question in her heart. The shaman ancestor? This is the dwelling of the merfolk ancestor? Hearing the King Devourer's words, Mo Qingyun could not help but be shocked, a sense of disappointment rising in his heart. If this was the dwelling of the merfolk ancestor, did that not mean there was no Xuanwu's blood? Did he not come here for nothing? Seeing the change in Mo Qingyun's expression, the King Devourer knew what he was thinking and hurriedly said, Master, don't worry. The shaman ancestor is a super genius of our tribe. His strength is unparalleled, and his witchcraft is unparalleled. He once subdued a Xuanwu as his mount. If this is his dwelling, there should be Xuanwu's blood. I hope so. After hearing the King Devourer's explanation, Mo Qingyun's expression improved a little, but he was still a little worried. No matter what, this was the dwelling of the merfolk shaman ancestor after all, and not purely the territory of the Xuanwu tribe. Let's go. Mo Qingyun pondered for a while, then told the King Devourer to continue exploring the Xuanwu secret realm. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the King Devourer did not move immediately. Instead, he said to Mo Qingyun in a deep voice, Master, these merfolk skeletons contain pure merfolk consciousness, which is very helpful for my recovery. Wait until I devour all of them. As soon as the King Devourer finished speaking, he used his divine ability and devoured the surrounding merfolk skeletons. After devouring the surrounding merfolk skeletons, the King Devourer swung his fishtail and flew forward with Mo Qingyun. As Mo Qingyun continued to move forward, a surprising scene appeared before his eyes. In the Xuanwu secret realm, there was a huge battlefield, and there were many Xuanwu and merfolk skeletons. Looking at the battlefield, there must have been a great battle, and many Xuanwu and merfolk had died here. Unfortunately, these Xuanwu skeletons were not the real Xuanwu, but only some descendants of the Xuanwu. More importantly, these Xuanwu skeletons did not have a single drop of blood in them. Mo Qingyun felt that it was a pity, and his disappointment grew even stronger. There seems to be a secret realm on the other side of the battlefield. Mo Qingyun sized up the battlefield, and his eyes lit up as he made an unexpected discovery. Chapter 1997. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the King Devourer arrived at the other end of the battlefield. Arriving at the entrance of another secret realm, Mo Qingyun saw many Xuanwu skeletons wandering around the secret realm. Many members of the Xuanwu clan used to live in this secret realm. Could this be the real Xuanwu secret realm? Looking at the scene in the secret realm, Mo Qingyun began to speculate. His eyes flashed with anticipation. If that's the case, the chances of me obtaining Xuanwu blood in this secret realm should be higher. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun decided to take a gamble and enter the secret realm to explore. Before Mo Qingyun entered the secret realm, he looked at the battlefield again and thought to himself, a fierce battle took place here. There should be many remnant souls here. I can summon some ghosts. The Gate of Evocation. A vortex-shaped light gate quickly formed in front of Mo Qingyun, emitting an amazing, devouring power. Under the suction of the Gate of Evocation, the remnant souls floating in the battlefield were immediately sucked into the Gate of Evocation. Not long after, powerful ghosts flew out of the Gate of Evocation. These ghosts varied in strength. The powerful ones were at the Saint Realm, while the weak ones were at the Nine Heavens Xian Immortal Realm. Boom! Boom! As soon as the ghosts of the Saint Realm appeared, clouds began to gather in the sky above the battlefield, dimming the light. Then, a terrifying force of oppression spread throughout the battlefield. Under the suppression of this force, the cultivation of the ghosts of the Saint Realm immediately dropped to the pre-Saint Realm. It seems that Danting was right. The Xuanwu secret realm does have a powerful force of oppression that can suppress one's cultivation to the Saint Realm. Seeing the cultivation of the ghosts of the Saint Realm being weakened, Mo Qingyun understood. He recalled what Dantung had said before. Although I can't recruit ghosts of the Saint Realm, it's not a bad thing to have a few pre-Saint Realm ghosts. Following that, Mo Qingyun unhurriedly summoned ghosts. While Mo Qingyun was summoning ghosts, the King Devourer was not idle. He frantically devoured and refined the remains of the merfolk. Under the King Devourer's frantic refining, the number of merfolk bones on the battlefield decreased at a speed visible to the naked eye. 3 days later, all the merfolk bones on the battlefield became food in the belly of the King Devourer. After devouring all the merfolk bones on the battlefield, the King Devourer looked as if he had not had enough. He said, "Master, I would like to return to the merfolk's secret realm and continue refining the remains of the merfolk to improve my cultivation. I hope you can agree to my request." Hearing the King Devourer's request, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly. He said, "The merfolk's secret realm is full of danger. There are people from the 4 great forces inside. It'll be very dangerous for you to go alone. Are you sure you want to do this?" "Master, don't worry. Although my cultivation has not recovered, I can still protect myself." In response to Mo Qingyun's worried words, the King Devourer said confidently. His eyes were filled with anticipation. It was obvious that he was looking forward to refining the remains of the merfolk and improving his cultivation. Looking at the King Devourer's expectant expression, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment and said, "In that case, be careful. When I find Xuanwu's blood, I will meet up with you." "Thank you, Master." Seeing that Mo Qingyun had acquiesced to his request, the King Devourer thanked him and returned to the merfolk's secret realm. Looking at the King Devourer leaving, Mo Qingyun's face was filled with anticipation. He smiled faintly and said, "I hope that when I see you again, you can surprise me and improve your cultivation by leaps and bounds." Mo Qingyun muttered to himself. He did not think too much about it, and continued to summon ghosts. Another 2 days passed. The remnant souls floating in the battlefield were all transformed by the Gate of Summoning into powerful ghosts. Mo Qingyun roughly estimated that there were 31 saint-level ghosts among the ghosts he had summoned this time. The number of quasi-saint ghosts was even more. There were more than 100 of them, and almost 200 of them. As for ghosts below the quasi-saint realm, the total number exceeded 10,000. With the help of these ghosts, I can basically do whatever I want in the Xuanwu secret realm. Looking at the large group of ghosts in front of him, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a faint smile. A playful smile appeared on his face. Now that he encountered people from the 4 major forces, the situation would be completely different. Mo Qingyun muttered to himself, He sent all the ghosts in front of him into the Fortune mainland. After sending the ghosts into the Fortune mainland, Mo Qingyun once again activated the Gate of Concealment and carefully entered the Xuanwu secret realm. Although he had control over his battle strength, he could do whatever he wanted in the Xuanwu secret realm with a domineering attitude. He could domineeringly clear away the Xuanwu skeletons blocking his way, but he did not want to do so. If he cleared away the Xuanwu skeletons blocking his way, it would be the same as clearing away an obstacle for the four major forces. He would not do so. Mo Qingyun concealed his figure, and in a flicker, he easily shuttled through the Xuanwu secret realm. The deeper he went into the Xuanwu secret realm, the more Xuanwu skeletons Mo Qingyun saw. Other than that, the strength of the Xuanwu skeletons that appeared during this period of time was also increasing. Mo Qingyun did not care about the increase in strength of the Xuanwu skeletons. After all, the Xuanwu skeletons could not stop him. Roughly 5 days later, Mo Qingyun searched along the way until he came to a valley. Chapter 1999. As expected of the sacred beast Xuanwu, even if it's just a remnant of its consciousness, its combat power is not to be underestimated. Looking at the battle ahead, Mo Qingyun's expression was tense. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart. If it weren't for Ling and the others, it would have taken me some effort to defeat the snake shadow and tortoise shadow with my own strength. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he couldn't help but rejoice that he had let Ling and the others deal with the snake shadow and tortoise shadow. Under Mo Qingyun's watch, the stalemate between the two sides began to slowly break. Ka. Under the crushing pressure of the sacred demon statue, the blue tortoise shell shadow gradually shattered, making a crisp sound. After a while, the surface of the blue tortoise shell shadow began to crack like a spider web. Boom! A loud noise came out, and the blue tortoise shell shadow finally collapsed, producing a powerful wave of spiritual energy. However, as soon as the wave of spiritual energy was produced, it was dispersed by the sacred demon statue and swept in all directions. Boom! After the sacred demon statue defeated the blue tortoise shell shadow, it slammed into the tortoise shell of Xuanwu's corpse with the momentum of Mount Tai. After being bombarded by the sacred demon statue, the cracks in the tortoise shell of Xuanwu's corpse immediately widened a lot. In addition, Xuanwu's corpse sank deeper into the ground under the impact of the sacred demon statue. As the black tortoise's corpse sank into the ground, its last shred of consciousness also dissipated at this moment. Xuanwu's remnant consciousness has been destroyed. Let's take its blood. Seeing that Xuanwu's remnant consciousness had been destroyed, Ling instructed everyone and flew toward Xuanwu's corpse. When she arrived near Xuanwu's corpse, Ling and the others worked together to lift Xuanwu's corpse to the ground. Open for me. After moving Xuanwu's corpse to the ground, Ling took out a silver dagger and slashed at the head of Xuanwu's corpse. The dagger Ling took out was very sharp. The blade fell on Xuanwu's body and cut a hole in it. Xuanwu's body was cut open, and some blood with a terrifying aura flowed out from the wound. Bang! Under the impact of the bloodline power, some of the weaker Dark Devil race members were immediately sent flying. Seeing this situation, Ling and the others were shocked, and then their faces were filled with ecstasy. As expected of Xuanwu's blood, just a trace of his bloodline aura has such terrifying power. Seeing the power of Xuanwu's blood, Ling's face was full of ecstasy, and her expression became excited. She looked forward to it and said, "If I integrate with Xuanwu's blood, my talent will immediately take a leap, and it won't be too difficult to surpass the previous 3 guys." He then took out a jade bottle and prepared to collect the black tortoise's blood that had flowed out. The jade bottle was taken out by Ling, and it bloomed with a faint green light, exuding a faint chill. It was obvious that this bottle was not simple, and it had the magical effect of maintaining the vitality of the bloodline. It's time to do it. Seeing Ling's action, Qingyun did not intend to hide anymore and slowly revealed his figure. He smiled and said, "Holy child Ling, didn't you say before that you wanted me to watch you collect Xuanwu's blood? I haven't come yet. So why are you in a hurry to collect Xuanwu's blood?" Qingyun's words immediately attracted the attention of Ling and the others, and they all looked over. Qingyun, you dare to come back. Looking at Qingyun slowly approaching, Ling's expression was a little surprised by Qingyun's courage. In her opinion, Qingyun should be hiding far away in the face of their pursuit. After saying this, Ling's face turned cold, and she said in a cold voice, "Since you're back, then I'll fulfill my promise. Before you die, I'll let you see how I collect Xuanwu's blood." As soon as Ling's words fell, he waved his hand and ordered the dark demons to attack. Soon, the dark demons around Ling surrounded Qingyun. "Since you sent so many people to deal with me, I can't bully you. I'll send more people." Looking at the people attacking him, Qingyun's lips curled slightly, and he teased Ling. Hearing Qingyun's words, Ling's eyes narrowed, and a playful smile appeared on her face. She said, "So you came prepared. Then let me see how many helpers you've found." At this moment, without waiting for Ling to finish her words, he froze in place, completely dumbfounded. As far as the eye could see, they were now surrounded by tens of thousands of ghosts. Qingyun, F*CKU, you're playing with me. At this moment, no matter how good Ling's temper was, she could not help but curse. Qingyun was too shameless. They only had about 100 people on their side, and Qingyun had summoned tens of thousands of ghosts and shamelessly said that they were not bullying. If this was not bullying, then what was? See clearly, I didn't find many helpers. Everyone is just fighting a fair battle. Looking at Ling and the others, whose faces were constantly twitching, Qingyun teased them again. As soon as he finished speaking, Qingyun waved his hand and ordered the ghosts to attack Ling and the others. Ling, the Holy Sun, run. Seeing Qingyun and the ghosts coming for them, a quasi-saint powerhouse from the Dark Devil clan immediately escorted Ling to escape. Looking at Ling, who was about to escape, Qingyun's eyes turned cold. His figure moved and chased after them, saying, "Holy Sun Ling, didn't you say that I would watch you collect Xuanwu's blood before I die? Why are you running away now? You're going back on your word. Where's the trust between people?" Hearing Qingyun's words, Ling and the others were so angry that they cried and almost vomited blood. It was too late for him to escape now, so what trust was there to talk about? Trust my ass. While Qingyun was teasing them, the quasi-saints who were escorting Ling to escape were also entangled by a group of ghosts. Because of this, Ling was left all alone. She was sandwiched between Qingyun and the ghost. "You, what do you want?" Seeing her situation, Ling's face turned pale and her expression was full of despair. She could see that if there was no miracle, she would not be able to escape today. "What do I want? Do you even need to ask?" In response to Ling's question, Qingyun shrugged and smiled. "Don't worry, I won't go back on my word like you. Before you die, I'll let you watch me collect Xuanwu's blood." As soon as Qingyun finished speaking, he ordered the ghosts to attack Ling. Soon, Ling was overwhelmed by the ghosts and was attacked frantically. After a while, Ling was seriously injured under the frenzied attacks of the ghosts and was on the verge of death. Looking at Ling, who was on the verge of death, Qingyun ordered the ghosts to stop attacking. He glanced at the jade bottle and smiled. "Your bottle is not bad. Let me use it." Chapter 2000. Although Ling was enraged by Qingyun's actions, She was powerless to stop him. She couldn't even speak, let alone stop Mo Qingyun from snatching the jade bottle. Collect! Holding the jade bottle in his hand, Mo Qingyun quickly formed a hand seal and activated it to collect Xuanwu's blood. Drops of Xuanwu's blood flew out from Xuanwu's body and were collected by Mo Qingyun into the jade bottle. While Mo Qingyun was collecting Xuanwu's blood, the battle around them had also ended. All of the dark demons had been killed. Seeing this, Ziling's face turned even paler. She looked terrified and begged, Mo Qingyun, you've taken the holy accumulation bottle and Xuanwu's blood. Can you let me go now? Mo Qingyun ignored Ziling's pleas and focused on collecting Xuanwu's blood. A few hours later, finally, all of Xuanwu's blood has been collected. After collecting all of Xuanwu's blood, Mo Qingyun smiled and said, if it weren't for this holy accumulation bottle, I wouldn't have been able to find something suitable to store all of this Xuanwu's blood. In order to thank you for the holy accumulation bottle, I've decided to give you a quick death. After putting away the holy accumulation bottle, Mo Qingyun waved his hand at the ghost. Upon receiving Mo Qingyun's order, the ghost immediately pounced on Ziling and tore her to pieces. Then, under the attack of the ghost, Ziling's soul was destroyed. This Xuanwu's body is full of treasures. It would be a waste to leave it here. Looking at the huge Xuanwu's corpse in front of him, Mo Qingyun's brows furrowed slightly, thinking of how to deal with Xuanwu's corpse. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun came up with a bold idea. His expression became tense as he said, if I use this Xuanwu's corpse to refine an incarnation, it should be extremely powerful. The more Mo Qingyun thought about it, the more excited he became. He immediately moved Xuanwu's corpse to the Fortune mainland. After putting away Xuanwu's corpse, Mo Qingyun glanced at the dark demons' corpses and activated the spirit beckoning gate. There were many quasi-saint realm experts among the dark demons, and he couldn't waste their remnant souls. Shortly, under the spirit beckoning gate, more than 10 quasi-saint realm ghosts appeared beside Mo Qingyun. With the addition of these ghosts, the battle strength under my control will rise to another level. Looking at the dense mass of ghosts around him, Mo Qingyun was inwardly delighted. Now, he had the strength to protect himself. I wonder how the King Devourer is doing. Since I've obtained Xuanwu's blood, I should go and meet up with her. Although he didn't know the King Devourer's situation, Mo Qingyun wasn't worried. The connection between him and the King Devourer hadn't changed, which meant that the King Devourer wasn't in danger. Collect. At this thought, the King Devourer showed a touched expression and his eyes became slightly moist. Don't think too much. Since you followed me, I naturally have to be responsible for you. Looking at the rosy King Devourer in front of him, Mo Qingyun smiled at him comfortingly and began to refine a pill for the King Devourer. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the King Devourer was even more touched. The way he looked at Mo Qingyun changed. The following time quietly passed as Mo Qingyun refined the pill. Several hours later, a strange scene appeared in the sky above Mo Qingyun and the King Devourer, causing a huge commotion. Following this commotion, the wandering mermaid skeletons and the people chasing the King Devourer were immediately alerted by the pill image. Immediately, the mermaid skeletons and the 3 great forces chasing the King Devourer rushed over. Mo Qingyun turned a deaf ear to the situation in the outside world. He was fully immersed in refining the pill. Seeing the pill image appear, Mo Qingyun immediately formed a hand seal and sent it into the pill image in the air. As the hand seal entered the pill image, it slowly shrank and was absorbed into the pill. Chapter 2002. Although everyone was furious, They couldn't care less right now and didn't have the energy to argue with Mo Qingyun. For them, the most important thing now was to get rid of the mermaid skeletons. Young Lord Shintu, we can't go on like this. If we don't leave now, we won't be able to. Young Master Situ, the mermaid skeletons are not something we can fight against. Why don't we retreat first? We've been tricked by Mo Qingyun again. If we knew this would happen, we would have just attacked instead of talking nonsense with him. He must have guessed that the commotion caused by his alchemy would attract a large group of mermaid skeletons. This guy is too cunning. If I see him again, I won't give him a chance to play dirty. Seeing their situation, the people from the three major forces were furious. They were filled with anger. This time, they were tricked by Mo Qingyun again. They had suffered in the hands of Mo Qingyun. Retreat. Seeing more and more mermaid skeletons, Fong Nuxi did not stay any longer. She led a group of people away. She was worried that the Immortal Slaying Hall and Madman League had bad intentions. Now was the best time to leave. Fong Nuxi, seeing Fong Nuxi leave with her people, Yu Wei's expression turned cold. His face was filled with anger. In his opinion, this was the best time to deal with Mo Qingyun. It would be a pity if he missed it. However, Fong Nuxi wanted to lead everyone away. There was nothing he could do. Let's go too. Seeing Fong Nuxi and the others leave, Yu Wei hesitated for a moment before leading everyone away. Although he was very unwilling, he was also very clear that this operation had come to an end without any results. As the Anti-Immortal Alliance fled, the Immortal Slaying Hall and Madman League situation immediately became more dangerous. No, if this continues, we might die here. Realizing that the situation was getting worse and worse, Situ Cheng's expression tensed up and he began to worry. He said, "The situation has changed. Everyone don't fight anymore. Let's retreat." Hearing Situ Cheng's order, the Madman League members relaxed and immediately retreated with Situ Cheng. The members of the Madman League and the Anti-Immortal Alliance had all evacuated. The members of the Immortal Slaying Hall did not dare to stay any longer and began to evacuate with everyone else. There was nothing they could do about it. Anyone with a discerning eye would be able to tell that they had already lost their advantage. Mo Qingyun revealed a disappointed expression when he saw the three forces retreating. He hadn't finished watching the show yet. Originally, he had wanted to let the people of the three factions fight with the mermaid skeletons and kill some of them. Once the King Devourer was done with his cultivation, he could devour some of the merfolk skeletons and continue to improve his cultivation. Now it seemed that his idea was going to fall through. Nine by 9 Demon God-Slaying Sword Formation. Facing Fong Nuxi's attack, Mo Qingyun did not hold back and immediately took out 16 ancient swords. Mo Qingyun took out the ancient swords and formed a sword formation to block the oncoming rain of ice swords. Ding! Ding! The profound ice sword rain crashed onto the ancient sword, creating a crisp sound and creating waves of spiritual energy fluctuations. To Mo Qingyun's surprise, the rain of ice swords turned into clouds of ice mist under the bombardment of the ancient swords. Mo Qingyun frowned when he saw this. Doubt arose in his heart. From this exchange, Fong Nuxi's strength seemed to be very ordinary. She was even weaker than Feng Chun. With her strength, she shouldn't be able to enter the 10 heroes of the Alliance, let alone second place. This was a bit strange. While Mo Qingyun was puzzled, the people around him sneered as if they were waiting to watch a good show. This kid is too careless. Looks like the battle is about to end. If Nuxi's immortal art was so easy to deal with, how could she fight against a saint? I'd like to see how this kid will react after being defeated by Nuxi. Needless to say, he'll be angry and embarrassed. More than that, he'll feel sorry for the treasures. Everyone was talking at the side, waiting to see Mo Qingyun's performance. While they were talking, Fong Nuxi sheathed her ice sword and looked coldly at Mo Qingyun. "You've lost." Whoosh! As soon as Fong Nuxi said that, The icy mist began to gather rapidly. It turned into an ice phoenix that emitted an even stronger chill. Under the corrosion of the ice phoenix's chill, the ancient sword was instantly frozen and fell from the sky. After the ice phoenix's chill froze the ancient sword, it turned into a streak of light. In the blink of an eye, the ice phoenix arrived in front of Mo Qingyun, emitting a bone-chilling chill that froze Mo Qingyun as well. The entire process was so fast that Mo Qingyun couldn't react in time. He was caught off guard by the ice phoenix's attack. What a powerful immortal art. I've underestimated you. Looking at the situation before him, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly. The doubts in his heart had been resolved. After witnessing Feng Nuxi's extraordinariness, Mo Qingyun's expression gradually turned cold. He said sternly, "Your immortal art isn't bad, but this level of attack is far from enough if you want to defeat me. Break!" A terrifying flame burst out of the Tao Seed of Fortune and attacked the ice outside Mo Qingyun's body. In the face of the Tao Seed of Fortune's flame, the ice ceiling Mo Qingyun immediately cracked. Bang! There was a huge sound. The ice ceiling Mo Qingyun immediately exploded, turning him into a pile of ice shards. Seeing Mo Qingyun break through the ice phoenix, the surrounding people were stunned. They were all shocked. How is this possible? Mo Qingyun actually broke through the ice. How did this guy do it?